106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Wednesday, May 1st, it is Double Impact. I'm your host, Geopolitical. Yes, I brought the red headband back because it is Rambo 3 tonight. I believe written by Sheldon Lettich, obviously starring the great Sylvester Stallone is the star of this movie. Bringing in my good friend, the one and only, the Midnight Lover himself, the great Jericho Green.
What's up?
There he is, letting it fly, letting it fly.
That's right. Whoever smelt it, dealt it. Whoever denied it, supplied it.
That's right. How you doing, man? What's been going on? We've both been very busy lately. I haven't heard from you in just about a week, but what's the latest with you?
Hey, like my dad would say, busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest.
That's right.
Driving the kids all around. My wife, she's been a little under the weather for the past few days, so I've been picking up the slack, chauffeuring the youngins around, preparing meals and whatnot. It's what we do. You know, as dads and husbands, it's just what we do. It's just a seamless transition.
It's how we get it done.
Yeah, and I literally did it, made dinner Indiana Jones style. Right as soon as I finished, it was like 5:59. I came into my studio, bing, bang, boom.
Bada bing, bada boom, that whole thing from the early 2000s, late 90s.
Speaking of the early 2000s, why's that?
It was such a simpler time. Such a simpler time.
So great. Man. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. About as busy as I've ever been. Business is going fantastic. Fantastic, as they say. Dean Cain All-American Lawman was an absolute smashing success. My second book is being worked on. Pages are already being drawn. I wrote the entire script. I'm going to get some more script notes and get it back, and going to do a little more tinkering. But, I'm staying ahead of Akion, the illustrator, for my second book. What is that second book? I'll show you guys in a second. My third book that I'm working on with an African-American gentleman that I know, that is finally I'm going to be able to work on the concepts and the plots a lot more because I finished second book. Showed you some nice concept art I did this afternoon for it. Mm-hmm. And then I had a very well-received little teaser promo that I put out this week for Dean Cain Volume 2.
Nice.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Guys, head on over to bigmancomics.com and get you the best graphic novel of, I'm going to say it, the millennium. Here it is.
Damn.
Dean Cain All-American Lawman being destroyed by the green screen technology that I'm using. Just being absolutely violated by the green screen. It's disappearing. But guys, I have about 300 to 400 of these left, and that's it for the first print. I had thousands of these filling my garage, and I sent them all over the world, all over the country. International shipping is expensive, but I sent them all over. Everyone that has talked about this online loves it. They love the story. They love the art. It is fantastic. If you haven't got it yet, head over there now to bigmancomics.com and get it post haste, as they say.
Get it now.
Do people want to see art from our new stuff we're working on? Do you think they want to see it or no?
Of course
Let's go
they
slow.
want to see it.
Let's go slow like a lover. I had an art teacher, Seeger Hartgers. He was from the Netherlands, one of the best teachers I ever had in college. He was a life drawing instructor, former U.S. Army. He was an artist for the U.S. Army. He was in the Gulf War in 92 or whatever, on the ground there in the Middle East, and he would do watercolors and illustrations of the soldiers. He did paintings of generals that are in the Pentagon.
Yes, that's what you knocked on the door for?
Yes, where's Mom?
Oh.
The joys of fatherhood.
Jeez.
It's all right.
Anyway, yeah. So was it like was he drawing kind of portraits? Not like the soldiers were posing, but just kind of drawing what he saw?
Yeah, he would catch them, sitting and talking between battles and this and that, and just kind of try to capture it. You know what I mean? And he showed it. He was a great teacher, and I took his life drawing classes over and over again, because as an illustrator, the thing we need to master the most is the human form and body and motion, and nothing will help you to draw people like life drawing, like real live nude people in front of you, looking at photos and looking at other people's drawings and diagrams, medical diagrams. It helps the knowledge, but really looking at a body, being able to move and turn and look at it in 3D, you grow like bamboo as an artist. I took that class over and over. It did not hurt that the models were the girls from the dance school that was right upstairs from where we did the drawing. Yes. That didn't hurt. That didn't hurt at all.
It never does.
I didn't object. But I'll show you guys some of the work here. But I was going to say that one time I was in life drawing, and we would do the models in the center, and I'm drawing, and Seeger comes up behind me, and he tells me real quietly in my ears, all slow, like a lover, because he thought I was going too fast. So I will go slow with this here. Let's say hello to everyone who's here. None the Miser, the Ferg, Diesel, Mark's Music Obsession. The buddies are here. Johnny Truth. People are coming in. Thank you very much, guys. I'm going to ask you. I'm going to tell you right now. Right now. See, when a father gets angry, your teeth won't open when you talk. Okay, right? I'm going to tell you guys right now. Hit the like and share the link. That was hit the like and share the link. That's how you. That's not reward, but that's how you show love to your YouTube content creators. It's the liking, it's putting a comment. All that makes the algorithm go crazy for us. So please do that. Please do that. You can put a comment in there if you love creamy or chunky peanut butter. Let's keep having that war. Keep doing.
If you're a piece of shit, put chunky. I'm not supposed to say that. Sorry.
Okay, is that how it's going to be today?
Sorry, that's how it needs. That's how it has to be.
Wow, that was very aggressive.
Thank you.
That was very aggressive. So the first volume of Dean Cain All-American Lawman, if you love thrills, action, adventure, you love that 80s style, Lethal Weapon, Indiana Jones, no woke bullshit, handsome, daring men, gorgeous, sexy ladies, evil villains, good is good, bad is bad. You know, when things used to make sense, when the world made sense, that's what this is. Get it? There are only 300 or 400 of the first printing left, and then they're gone forever. So please, bigmancomics.com and get that. I put this out. What do you think of this?
Nice. I saw that on your social media.
Yes,
very nice.
Thank you. I was going for, you tell me if I captured this at all, because I do pride myself on being a graphic designer. I think the Dean Cain All-American Lawman logo is great. The Glock, the Glock handle there and the trigger and all that incorporated in the title. I thought that was a stroke of genius by me. But what I've been listening to and reading, Parker, they are hard-boiled 1960s-ish like crime capers with the main villain is Parker, and he's the hero, but he's actually a criminal himself, but he's always going up against other criminals that ripped him off or tried to kill him or whatever. And Mel Gibson did a movie called Payback in 1999, and that is a remake of Point Blank from like 1960 whatever, starring Lee Marvin. You know Lee Marvin, he's amazing. And those are all based on the Parker novel, Parker the Hunter. So for the Hong Kong connection, I wanted to capture that 60s, 70s kind of little bit of hippie, but a little bit of World War II. Do you know what I mean? And it's James Bond and it's spies and it's stuff like that. I wanted to capture that feeling with this logo. So I hope the different sizes of the word Hong Kong and how they're kind of going back and forth from the left and the right, I hope it captures that. It looks that way to me, that I captured that 60s aesthetic. Does it feel that way to you, or do I just fill your head with nonsense?
No, it looks great.
Okay,
I like it. The volume 2, that's really cool. Hong Kong Connection. Yeah, all that's great. Home run.
Right.
And speaking of Payback, we got to do that movie. That is a great movie. It came out, what, 99?
Yeah.
Something
and
like
it
that.
is, dude, it's good because it's Mel Gibson. It's good, but it is
Yeah.
painfully 1999.
Yes, it is. And
Like
the way it's filmed, like that blue
Yeah.
hue to everything. Lucy Liu is in it, and it's pre-bullshit. So it's an amazing movie. I love it.
Well, it's Mel Gibson, so yeah, absolutely. Mel can do no wrong in my eyes. Cinematically, he's a genius.
Even his recorded phone calls that he didn't know about.
That was questionable behavior.
No, I'm still a fan. That shit was
hilarious. You know. So we'll have a bigger announcement for all this, but which one should I do first? This sci-fi one here. You could see them tiny, Jericho. The red one or the green one? What do you think I should show them next?
We'll go in order.
Okay.
Show them the first one.
So before All American Lawman, the Hong Kong Connection is done, you're going to want to get this. Oh, yeah. I just finished the artwork for this cover on Monday. Empyrean. It's Latin. It means like the highest realm of like where God lives and all that. If you love Interstellar, Matthew McConaughey. If you love Interstellar, and you love Star Wars, the good Star Wars, not the feminist new Star Wars, the old one from 77. You got that. Dictators, rebels, and you have the love of a man and a woman and a family and all that, just like Interstellar, where they have that beautiful family dynamic and cosmic adventure in space. Yes, this will be the second book from Big Man Comics. Empyrean, Earth Illuminated. This is a totally different direction than Dean Cain All-American Lawman, but it is the same, because we still have love and family and bravery. And one thing we're getting in this that we got in the other one is that dynamic we had between Dean and Veronica. We're going to have that here with these two main characters, but they're actually husband and wife already in this, and they have a family and stuff, but I'm not going to go too deep into it. Awful bad guys, just the worst. Amazing sci-fi and super uplifting, hopeful message. So we're going to entertain your face off. Okay, so stay with me on this stuff. I want you guys to support this. And I hope that you love this. I know you will if you get a hold of it. Let's see. That book looks amazing. How long before it's done, Gabe? I just finished the script the other day. I've been working on the script for over a month. So I sent him some of the script, Aikion, and he's illustrating. And I already have pages done from him. But I only sent him up to like page 50. And then he's doing more. So it's 120 to answer your question. It's 120 right now. I sent it to him. I said, read the whole thing again. He already knows the whole story because I sent him the plot. The plot and the script are two different documents. So he knows the whole story. I know the whole story, obviously. And it might change. It might go up. It might go down. The size of my books is whatever works for the story. That's first is the art. We want to entertain you, so we want to make the art correctly. And I don't believe I'll be crowdfunding this. I want to finish my books, then put them on sale. That way you get them faster. You guys had to wait the first time. And God bless you all for supporting me the first time, helping me financially get this company rolling and stuff. But now I want to just get them done and then get them out to you guys. So Empyrean is up first, and then the Hong Kong Connection. Aikion will be doing both of those. And we got another book I can't mention, which is going to blow your face off. Jericho knows about. But this is the one I'm going to draw, and I'm going to start writing it. We went over a plot the last month or two, and we were creating characters. Jericho Green and the Hammerheads. Do you want to tell them what it's about, or should I?
I think we both should. But it's about it takes place in 1993. So a little nostalgia for that ass. And it's myself as the main character. So I was about 13 years old at this time. So it's a group of kids, and it's a mesh of some Goonies, some Ninja Turtles, some 80s, 90s action.
They Live.
Yeah, They Live.
What I've been telling people is it's Goonies meets They Live. That's what I tell people. You know what I mean? So this is rip-roaring fun, middle school age kids. Not going to give a lot away here, but they got to save the world from something that looks small. So if you love Goonies, you love Stranger Things, you love the political message, and They Live, you're going to love Jericho Green and the Hammerheads. You're going to absolutely love it. I had a blast making this logo. That is my degree. If you find my college degree from the University of Northern Colorado, I actually have a degree in graphic design. I don't have a degree in illustration. So I do love making logos and all that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of fun for me.
And I'm excited about the style that it's going to be drawn in. Some of the characters we came up with, not just the main group of kids, but some side characters that we came up with, and the fight scenes and stuff. This is going to
be we start riffing on it via text, and it's like, I've always written alone, and I know there are writing teams, writing partners. They write books together, they write movies together, and I always wondered how that worked. And you guys see the improv that Jericho and I do together on this show. We do our improv comedy. Our writing is working exactly the same way. He says something, then I say something, then, and it's beautiful. So Hammerheads, I'm very excited about it. I'm glad to get back to illustrating. This is just a quick pencil sketch I did this afternoon, trying to get the feel for these kids and to draw this in a playful style.
That sounded weird. But get a feel for these kids.
Get a feel for these kids in this story.
But also,
glasses on, Chunk.
I'm honored that you're going to be drawing this.
Thank you.
That's
I'm
really
honored
cool.
that I'm going to be drawing it.
Yeah, this is going to be great, man. You're somewhat of a return to illustrating, so I'm very excited about that. And just having a part in something like this is really cool after seeing some of the stuff that, the books you've written and everything, T-Jaw, Dean Cain, and to be working on a project with you is amazing, guys. And it's going to show in the finished product.
Yeah, it had to happen. This to me is just joy. I mean, it's a little messy, but it's a pencil sketch, guys. This is just a pencil sketch. Because like when you're doing art, you want to just feel things. You know what I mean? You want to put it in front of you and go, how does that feel? I've been drawing this character for about a month now, off and on, and I'm ready to move on to we got the typical group of 4 kids, and then we could say, and then the bratty little sister that has to tag along. And I won't say too much more, but we'll roll out more art. We'll talk about it. This is long term. These things take a long time to illustrate and get done. But I do want to get my work done and then put it on sale. Mark had a question. He said, even if it's not crowdfunded, can you pre-order at some point? I'm not exactly sure. I suppose get them done and then do like a pre-order, like Eric July does. I work for Eric July. He does his books. He gets them done. Then they're pre-ordered, and then they come out. They start mailing them out a month or 2 or something like that later. So I think like that. Let there be a fun, exciting campaign, and a lot of things are happening with Big Man Comics. God's really blessed me. You guys are really blessed me. I'm going to have my first like real employee very soon. That's going to be running social media and all this kind of stuff for me. So I'm very, very excited about all that. So things are going great. Thank you for being here with me on it. I'm just grateful to all of you so much. So D from Good Times, just like my bratty sister. Yeah, we want to have that. I think Jericho Green and the Hammerheads, I want you to have like just the biggest smile in the world the whole time you're reading it. Yeah. It's gonna be thrilling. Like I'm not saying this is in the thing, because it's not. I haven't written this or even imagined it, but like I don't know, like Indiana Jones and Short Round and the what's her name in the mine cart, all that.
Yeah.
Where they're going through thing and the mine carts jumping and there's that. I want Hammerheads to feel like that the whole time you're reading it. Just insane, crazy fun. The way a roller coaster at Disneyland feels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's fun, a little scary, but mostly just fun, fun and crazy. So,
and whether you're an 80s kid, 90s kid, you're all going to connect to the nostalgia of it and the friendships and stuff. And because, there's nothing new under the sun. So whether you went to school, no matter what decade you went to school, you were in junior high or whatever, we all felt the same things. And we all had those friendships and stuff with our buddies and everything. So all that's going to be a great connection for the reader, but it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm very excited for all this. I'm very grateful for all of you for the support and the continued support. So when you can head over to Big Man Comics and buy books, buy shirts, all of it, support me, retweet things, hit the like and share the link, all that stuff. We're going to just keep bringing you the entertainment that the big, weird social justice warrior companies just don't want to give you anymore. Yep. You know what I mean? My first love, the thing that made me start drawing was Star Wars. I would draw Star Wars space battles at age 3 in the back of my grandparents' Mexican restaurant. And this book here, that has a lot of that in it. It's not a copy of the concepts of Star Wars, but it's that same feeling. Hope, excitement, thrills, crazy, weird, bad guys, awesome, good guys. It's really fun. But I put the family dynamic in it as a thing I stress. You know what I mean? So,
and I can't stress enough how you know, we're all tired of the shit they're trying to do. They're always trying to preach to you and stick their fingers up your butt. And all we want to
Hey,
do,
whoa.
all we want to do is entertain you. So now that we're creating products like this, you know, it's time to the ball's in your court. Support.
Can I toot my own horn here?
Toot it.
Is that a good logo or what? Look at the Earth illuminated with the little planet with the star with the sunrise coming out of it. Look at that. I love that. I think
Attention
that's
to detail, people.
I actually really do love making logos. Anyone that knows me, like my family, my wife and daughter, when we drive and there's an old hotel with that classic 50s, 60s look, I'll pull my phone out or tell my wife, take a picture of that sign. You know, it's the UFO Hotel in Gila Bend, Arizona, or like there's the Neon Museum in Las Vegas. And they have all kinds of old signage from classic Vegas from the 50s and 60s. And they've taken those neon signs down and they put them out in a giant outdoor yard, and you walk through and a tour guide tells you all about it. I really do love graphic design. I know it probably is a boring discipline for a lot of people, but when we go out to eat at like a family-owned restaurant or somewhere, I'm always disgusted by how illegible so many menus are. And like I've had a joke. My friend TJ, he was in art school with me in college. We would joke and we would call that kind of art MBDT. It was my brother did this. Everybody's got some brother who has a bootleg copy of Photoshop, like, oh, he'll make your logo for $40. And it's like, yeah. And it's gonna fucking look like it too.
It shows.
You know,
speaking of the 50s art and decor, I don't know if you saw that video I sent on Instagram where it was as if the Transformers were created in the 50s.
Oh.
And just how cool it was, and you know, there were still the Decepticons and the Autobots and Optimus Prime and Megatron and all that shit, but it just had that 50s kind of design to it, you know, like the stainless steel bars and, you know, and like the corner of the fridge and stuff like that from the 50s. It looked really cool, but it reminded me when you said that, the 50s type of design. That shit's really cool.
You've asked me before, why was Tom and Jerry and the cartoons so beautiful, and then they fall off a cliff in the 60s and become ugly and weird? And my explanation for that is cultural. As you go through that countercultural revolution that happened in the 60s of hating tradition, hating family, hating America, hating your father, how could you have any discipline and work hard and become a master artist when you're just a self-indulgent narcissist? Do you know what I mean? Like, of course you wouldn't respect art, and you'd miss your deadlines and do a shitty job and like, hey man, who's to say, man? And like, that's why you get all that crappy art in the 60s.
And it's painfully obvious.
It's terrible. It's
painfully
horrible.
Obvious. I'm like, man, who was watching this shit? I felt sorry for the kids in the 60s and the 70s.
Yeah.
They got a bunch of dog shit.
Yeah. Big Baby started watching Tom and Jerry about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I found on Tubi the OG ones from like the 30s and 40s or whatever, whenever they started. And they're beautiful. They're just beautiful. So, and they're just funny too. They don't tell you to hate your God and your father and your country, you know?
Yeah. Hey, just entertain. All right. Can you just do that?
Hey,
can you just entertain me? You're not that special. Just fucking put on your monkey suit and dance around for me. I'll pay you well. You'll be well compensated, but that's all we're gonna need you for. I want to share this real quick.
Okay.
That,
what do you got?
I think I can do it from here. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the
oh cool
Transformers if they were designed in the 50s. It's really cool. Like you can just picture those old sci-fi movies and stuff, and the buildings, the way they were designed. That shit's hella cool.
It's got that great look.
Seeing the hair and the women. Look how beautiful the women are. Beautiful women, handsome men. You know, just whatever. Crazy ideas, I know.
Right.
That shit's hella cool.
Dames that were beautiful and men that were strong and masculine. Wow.
Hey, show me your games, dame. Yeah, you know, the things that people wanted to see.
Right.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, and one more bit of news. I talked to good old Dean Cain, our good buddy, the busiest man in show business. He is hard to nail down. He is going to do a live stream with me and Jericho eventually. You invited us to your channel, right, Jericho, eventually to review the book and all that. We wanted to wait a few weeks until I was finishing mailing out all the books. The last books I sent out was about 3-4 weeks ago. I have gotten like 3 or 4 returned to me, and I contacted those people, sent them a new one. One guy, dude, the European Union sent his book back. So I look, I'll contact him and mail it to him again. Apparently there was something wrong with the address or something that he gave me or something like that. But I'm working on it. I felt so bad for him because it takes forever to get there. And then it got sent back. Oh my gosh. So yeah, that's not good. But we have great customer service here. The minute I get a return or anything like that or something like that, I work on it like that day and do my best to get it back out. And that's the last thing I want to show you. Head on over to bigmancomics.com because you know what you can get. Did you ever, I mean, everyone here loves Dean Cain, but did you ever have a bizarre idea that you could be him? Because I sure haven't. But there's a scene in the book, okay, spoiler, where he has to get a disguise and he runs into one of those tourist trap places in Mazatlan and he sees this shirt and this kid's a real, like a jerk. The kid like really kind of tries to rip him off. Like, I'll give you the shirt if you give me this, that, and the other. And they work a deal and he ends up leaving with the shirt on, right? And that's his disguise later, so the police won't find him. And I know I'm spoiling a little bit, but that shirt there. So what we did for you folks, hold on. That shirt exists, guys.
Bam.
Oh, wow, I've lost weight. That shirt exists, and it's in the store on bigmancomics.com. That shirt exists. So if you wanna get the look like Dino, then head on over to bigmancomics.com, and you too can have that shirt.
You will become
right
Dean Cain.
And I promise you, in my website, there will not be this snotty little Mexican kid trying to take you for all you're worth just to get the shirt. You just pay. I will personally pack and ship it here in my garage warehouse, and I will send it to you. So there you go. You can get the look. You can get it today. So there you go.
One more bit about Dean Cain. So I interviewed him on my channel, Green's House. Check it out. We sat down for about an hour and a half, talked to him, about his childhood, his upbringing, playing football and acting and all that stuff. And one of the things that I talked to him about that still fucking blows my mind, and I mentioned it to Matt last week, is the level of fame. And Dean, he said one time he was in a hotel laying down and he woke up out of his sleep and he was like, no more pictures, no more pictures.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Like, to be that famous to where it's affecting your sleep and you're waking up, you're dreaming about the paparazzi and the hordes of fans, and just to be that famous. And fame is different now. I think fame now is a bit diminished because of social media, and everybody has a camera and everybody has an idea. Anybody can start something. But back then you really had to, and not that you don't have to work hard to be famous now, but back then there was, only a handful of ways to do it. And, being able to do so much of that process by yourself just wasn't possible.
Right.
So to earn that fame old school and to get to that level is just fucking crazy. Like, I was blown away when he told me that in the interview that he woke up saying no more pictures. Wow. And like had his hands up like stop. Like,
no more pictures. No more beautiful women throwing themselves at me.
No more tits, no more blowjobs, please. Poor guy. Don't feel bad for him. Do not feel bad for Dean.
Oh, I don't.
Not at all.
So yeah, guys, that's a hilarious little story. Head on over to bigmancomics.com and you can get the look. Get the look when he was hanging off the is it called a landing skid on a helicopter? What is the ski? Is it a skid?
Yeah, skid, landing skid.
Okay, yeah, he's hanging off the landing skid in that one scene wearing this made in America, big man threads, by the way.
America.
Made in America. In America. Yeah.
By Americans.
Get that. That's right. And here's another little double impact tidbit. The White Pyramid building in San Diego that's in what's the Stallone movie? Where he's in the future?
Demolition Man.
Demolition Man, right. These shirts come from right there. Hold on, I'm looking it up. I'll show it to you. So if you've ever seen this building right here, my shirts are made not far from there. That is across the street from Top Gun. That is across the street from the Marine Corps Air Station Miramar. This thing, that's a Miramar Road. It's a very, very long road that goes all the way from one end of the 15 freeway all the way basically almost to the 5 freeway. Cuts right through San Diego. So yes, my shirts come from a place that is pretty interesting, right where Top Gun is and right where Demolition Man is. So that's even more incentive for you.
And speaking of Stallone, I mean, I'm sure there are some actors, but I'm sure it's a short list as well, who were huge in the 70s, because that's when Rocky came out.
Right.
Even bigger in the 80s, and then the 90s, and then the 2000s, because he had the Expendables. I would say the first two were good. Really, the first one was the best one. But even the Expendables
4. It tested me.
Yeah, I was saying, I'll leave it at that, huh?
Yeah. I saw Expendables 4, and I was very disappointed.
Well, you're hard pressed to get a part 4 of anything.
Right.
That's good. But yeah, the first one was great. The second one, I watched the third one. I don't really remember it, but the second one was holy shit. But in all of those decades, man, is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he is truly one of the biggest stars in the history of Hollywood. Shrapnel, Gabe and Jericho, have either of you guys seen A Boy and His Dog, 1970s flick? I have not. Jericho, you?
No, never seen it.
Sorry, man.
I feel like it sounds familiar, but no, I've never seen it.
Mark's music obsession. Lost his dad in 2001, but still having to take care of my mom. She's 85. That's amazing, dude. Mother's Day is coming up in what, like a week and a half, something like that. So
sure is.
I like how Mother's Day is like they're venerated, and they should be. Mothers should be honored. And then Father's Day comes, and a lot of guys get pair of socks, and they also celebrate graduates that day too.
Something made of macaroni.
That is one of the elementary school things about society is people think things are either true or cool because they rhyme. Dads and grads. That just rhymes, guys. There's nothing else there.
There's a marketing machine behind that.
Dads
and grads.
Right. So
Dad doesn't even get his own day. It's all right. We'll be fine.
Should do a Superman shirt that the money goes to food banks. Well, I'd love to, but my lawyer says I probably shouldn't sell merchandise for a character that I don't own. So
it's not good practice.
But Superman will be in the public domain within 10 years. I don't remember the year of the first Superman comic. I know I worked at DC Comics. I don't remember the year. Sorry. But he will be in the public domain. Now, the way I've been told that works, this is not legal advice, I'm not an attorney, is like just when Mickey Mouse went to public domain this year, you can't use all 90 years of Mickey Mouse. You can use now that first year. The first Mickey, the first concepts, the first characters in that year or whatever, those are public domain. Next year, it's the 2 years. Next year after that, 3 years. So Superman, when he hits the public domain, I think this is how this works. You could use what's in the first Superman comic, and that's it. You can't go get Lois Lane and Lex Luthor and all these people because they come later. They come years later in the books. So it's not legal advice. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not sure what I'm talking about. That's what I think. But speaking of a Superman, go ahead, Jericho.
So pretty much Mickey from when he was whistling in black and white going down the river. That's the Mickey that is in public domain right now. Yeah, my friend Doug Tenapo, creator of Earthworm Jim, he does hilarious Mickey and Minnie comic strips, and they're all subversive and anti-woke. They're very funny. And he could do them because it's just the Mickey from Steamboat Willie. Yeah. So I think it's quite funny, actually. We can all do that.
Yeah. I thought there was gonna be a glut of that stuff, and then there just wasn't much of it when he entered the public domain. So I don't know. Let's see. Real quick, about the Superman shirt. I have one that's similar. I have this. You can order this from me. I have some left. This is not Superman. It is a guy that some people, not me, would say looks similar to him, ripping open his shirt with a diamond emblem on his chest, but it's an American flag.
Super American, not Superman. Right. Super American.
It says American and proud of it. And then in Latin, it says truth, justice, and the American way. There you go. And I drew that one. I actually illustrated this shirt, so that was a lot of fun. Oh, that reminds you, Jericho, you wanted me to send you some illustration. Please text me that again or email me because I forgot to send it to you.
Okay, USA.
Okay, USA. There we go. Macaroni Mother's Day special at Pastamania.
Always.
Hold on. Let's bring him in. Oh, guys, it's the #1 sponsor of Double Impact, the great Terry Bollea, also known as Hulk Hogan, owner of Pastamania in Clearwater, Florida, soon opening at Raider Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. How you doing, Hulkster?
Well, I'll tell you one thing, brother. I don't like lies, brother. I'll never be in that shithole in the desert, brother.
Oh,
and I'm your only sponsor, brother. But there's been other companies that tried to be the sponsor of Double Impact, brother. But I scare them off, brother.
So let me know. Mark was talking about mothers. We were saying it was Mother's Day soon. How is Mama Hulk? Is she still around? Is she helping out around the restaurant, or is she gone to be with the Lord, or where is Mama Hulk now?
She's not excuse me, brother. She's
Oh, you don't have
she's
to.
in the big Pastamania in the sky, brother.
Oh, I'm sorry. I feel like I just saw her last time I was there.
Nah, she's gone. She's gone, brother. I took her down that highway, brother, on the back of that red and yellow Harley one last time, brother.
Oh man, was it at least peaceful, or was it some sort
Yeah,
of
it was pretty peaceful, brother. She was already dead, brother, but I strapped her on. I said, one more time, Mama Hulk.
Oh, so like a Weekend at Bernie situation.
That's right, brother, but a lot more beautiful, brother.
A lot more beautiful. Well,
Yeah.
it's what she would have wanted. We do know that. So, but you're keeping the legacy alive, making that rigatoni with that delicious semolina based noodles there.
That's right, brother. All the sauces, her recipes, brother.
Oh wow! You should put that on the menu. You should let people know that they'd like that.
She's alive. Every time I try to write it, brother, I can't get through. Next question, brother.
Okay. Well, so if you could have one more Pastamania deal for Pastamaniacs with your mom, what would it be?
It's the one I'm rolling out this year, brother. 2024 Mother's Day, brother. If you come in with your mom, brother, or maybe she's gone, brother. She's gone to a happier place, brother. You bring her corpse in, you bring her urn in or something, brother, and I'll give you 10 pounds of that sweet semolina, brother.
Now, what if I'm going to be respectful here. What if someone's mom is a looker? I don't want to say MILF. If it wasn't me talking, I'd say MILF. Since it's me, I won't say that. I'll say, what if you have a handsome woman and one of the patrons there hits on someone's mom? What would you do if you saw that?
If I saw a MILF, brother, I'll say it, a mom I'd like to fuck, brother.
Whoa.
If I saw somebody disrespecting your mom, brother, if you didn't jump on them before I did, brother, they're getting that leg drop in the dining area, brother. And then I'm going to take you out back and whoop your ass, brother, because you didn't stand up for your mom, brother. Brother.
Oh. Well, you're a passionate man and you're a respecter of mothers everywhere. The great Hulk Hogan, everyone. Is there anything else you want to plug before you go, or you off to make that rigatone?
I'm making it right now, brother. You just can't see both of my hands, brother. I'm always making that sweet semolina, brother. But I'll tell everybody, I'll tell one group in particular, brother, all you other companies out there that want to advertise on Double Impact, brother, fuck off, brother.
That's right. The great Hulk Hogan, everyone. He's a real mother lover. Bye, Hulkster.
Bye, brother.
Oh, the great Hulk Hogan, everyone.
Good guy, man. He loves his mom. He can't really talk about her, but he loves her.
I saw her like 3 months ago. I wouldn't have asked if I knew. I wonder how she went.
That's your fault, Gabe, because you should stay up on the Pastamania website. He's always uploading pictures of him and his mom making meatballs and shit.
Right.
And he had this big thing about it, this big video tribute. It was really sad, man.
Is that, because he called me like 3 weeks ago. He called me. It was weird. And he's like, hey, my mom is always driving the Harley. My mom's doing handstands and indos and wheelies. What do I do? She's my mom. I can't tell her what to do. But she's 87 and she's doing wheelies. Do you now, when something happens, someone dies or something, you always want to ask, like, what happened? Because it's natural curiosity. I didn't ask, do you think Mama Hulk, like, she crashed the Harley?
I think she took a spill, man. I think she was probably, because she's old school. So, a little red wine for the sauce, a little red wine for the chef.
And no helmet. She's not like some wussy, right? So
no, they're down in Florida, man. There's no helmet laws down there.
In fact, you get arrested if you do wear a helmet down there.
Yeah, they give you a T-shirt that says "pussy" on the front and back. So yeah, man, I think she got a little sauced up, no pun intended, and then went out and probably took a corner or something like that. Obviously, the wound is still fresh because he can't even,
Yeah, you can't blame him. Poor guy. Really he's an awesome guy, and shout out to Mama Hulkster.
Yeah, she taught him the leg drop. That's how she used to discipline him when he was a kid.
Really?
Yeah,
Goodness.
she would run to each side of the living room and bounce off the rope. And then
Oh, that's right. They had those ropes installed in the living room. That's right.
She would go like that to her ear to hear the other kids saying, beat him. And then she would go up in the air and just drop that big old Mama Hulk gam on him.
That's right. I remember he showed me a home video of his 8th birthday party. His mom's coming out of the kitchen to get him in the living room, and she has to go under the ropes. You know what I mean? She's going between
his dad put his foot on the bottom rope and then grabbed the top rope and kind of made a space for her to get in the ring. Yeah, it's very his life was very wrestling centric, if you will. Everything was there was a bell like at the beginning of dinner, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They'd ring a bell, and then the last person to get done eating would get leg drop.
Dang. Well,
that's crazy.
You know, it made him the man he is. It made him the champion he is.
Did he ever tell you the story about when he walked in his parents' bedroom and caught his dad leg dropping his mom?
I forgot. Thanks for reminding me.
Sorry, I can't be the only one with that story. But it was his third leg that he was dropping on her.
It's a leg drop.
Yeah. Well, I don't need to explain it. You guys know how sex works. But that scarred him, and I think that was the chip on his shoulder that kind of gave him the drive to become who he is. Because if that don't piss you off, you know, nothing will.
Oh goodness. On a non-funny serious note, Brandon says he's tuning in on a break. He's trying to get his mother transferred to a liver hospital. We do everything for our moms. Moms are amazing. Mom and dad, there's nothing like them. That is the true advantage in life. People talk about race and money and class. The true advantage is having loving, dedicated parents growing up. Brandon Cherisher and anyone out there watching, if you're the praying type, say a prayer for Brandon's mom.
Yeah. And she obviously did a good job, you know, for you to feel this way about her, because no matter what the relationship is, you can always judge it by what people do. And since you're still doing your best for her, that means she did her best for you. So it's crazy getting older, man. I'm 45. You're what, 42 now? 43? 43.
And seeing people pass away, lose their parents, even people our age, some of them are gone, and it's weird. It's weird getting older, man. It is weird.
It is.
Yeah, it's pretty sobering. You know, it's bitter, but it's sweet. It's bittersweet because the sobering moments really make you appreciate life and say, like, dude, that stupid thing I was mad about earlier, how embarrassing, right? Like, I shouldn't care about that. I should just care about what matters, you know. So thank you, Shrapnel. That's very kind of you towards Brandon and his mom. Let's move in to what I think is the movie with the freaky deakiest physique I've ever seen on film. Did he look better in this or Rocky IV? Like, his physique in this is insane.
Yeah, he's jacked, man. He was
like a comic book character. It's just
he definitely has some needle marks in his butt cheek for this movie, because holy hell, he was thick. Well, you know, in Rocky, you know, he's an athlete, so he's way more shredded. This one, he kind of bulked up. And man,
his hair bulked up.
Dude,
his hair had muscles. Everything was going on in this.
He put steroids in his scalp. This shit was crazy. And then the part where he has like that the fabric like wrapped around his forearm and shit, like, it just made him look even bigger.
Right. Hey, if it works, it works. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Telling you.
Yeah. Something else. Let's see. 55. I think Mark's 55. We were saying our ages. Okay, so Mark is 10 years older than me.
Damn, Mark. You're 12 years older than me.
It's got me by a decade.
I mean, I'm not a hair treatment specialist, and I'm not saying this works, but look at his hair. And he would take human growth hormone and inject it right into his scalp. That's all I'm saying. Right.
And much like, this is like Mel Gibson level 80s Maine, you know.
Whoa, calm down. That's not.
I said like.
It's Mel Gibson Maine adjacent.
Yes.
It's close.
Hey, it's the closest thing to Mel Gibson's Maine.
It's beautiful. It's fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
And this this picture right here, this poster tells you everything you need to know about this movie, because everything in this poster is in that shit.
This movie,
it's crazy.
This movie, I like it. I don't think it's a bad movie, and I'm not putting it down. And I mean this in a good way. This movie is like if I wrote this when I was playing with G.I. Joe men when I was 10. That's what this movie is like to me. It's just over the top, completely insane.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
This movie's written by and then. That's who wrote this movie.
Right.
It's my least favorite of the Rambo movies, and as a kid, 1, 2, and 3. I hadn't seen part 1 until I was an adult, which is good because I don't think I would have appreciated it as a kid.
It's very, very deep.
It's deep. It's deep. The you can totally tell that, and this happens to a lot of movies. The first one's deep and almost has an indie film quality to it, and then the world gets wind of it. It's super successful, so now here come the big companies, the big movie companies and shit, and there's tons of money behind it because Rambo First Blood Part 2 was completely different than the first one, and that's the first one I saw as a kid, 1985. Then this one's 1988, and it was my least favorite out of them. But hey, 80s action movie. If that's what you want, this movie is it. But yeah. So I guess since we're doing part 3 next week, we got to do part 4, and then we might as well finish.
Here's
it
the
off.
thing about that. The thing, don't you want to have Matthew back when we do part 4?
Oh yeah, if he's so inclined, that would be great.
I'll ask him if he'll come next week, but if he won't, we should wait till we can get him again. Don't you think? Cool. I would like him here. I mean, I would like it to be him next week, but I mean, he loves coming on. He's so good when he's here. I'd like him to be here to discuss it. If he's such a great friend of the show and a good dude just altogether, it would be a missed opportunity to not have him here to talk about it, I think.
Have you seen part 5, the last one?
I did.
That was super violent.
It was insanely violent. It truly was, yes.
Like part 4,
like it? I thought it was okay.
To be honest with you, the first time I saw it, I was almost nauseous by the level of violence.
Are you serious?
Like it was, dude. I mean, heads blown off.
It was cartoonishly violent. That is for damn sure.
Yeah, for sure. It was crazy. Yeah. But the plot, I think this is definitely, since the first one, this is definitely the saddest storyline. The last one, part 5, definitely had the saddest storyline of any of the Rambos, in second place to the first one. And because the first one was pretty sad, especially when he breaks down with Colonel inside the police station at the end, starts talking about his buddies and shit, and the bomb that went off, the little boy with the shoe shine box and shit. I mean, that was like, damn. But this part 5 has a pretty sad storyline to it as well.
Right. Now, I love these. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go for it.
Well, I love these connections here. This is me 40 pounds ago, by the way, back 300 bills. I went to a legendary Hong Kong cinema dinner and thing in Chinatown in Los Angeles 2 years ago. It was in August of 21. And that man there is the amazing Sheldon Lettich. If you've ever heard of Double Impact, Bloodsport, millions of action movies from the 80s and 90s, or this movie, this man wrote it. Okay, this guy's a prolific action guy, and he was a writer on Rambo 3. So that dinner was awesome. That's where I met Todd Senafonte and Paco Prieto from Only the Strong, Jenny the Bet Arquitez from one of the greatest fight scenes of all time on Meals on Wheels versus Jackie Chan. It was awesome. There were probably like 200 people there, and they were all legends of Hong Kong and action cinema. It was amazing. But yeah, there I was, fat and sassy, about 305 pounds there. So yeah, I met Sheldon Lettich, the writer of this movie. I love little connections like that. It makes it a little more real for me. So.
I wonder what his formula is, because he obviously has to have one to be, cranking out this many hit action movies in the 80s. I wonder what his formula is.
Yeah, who knows, man. I'd love to get him on, but I don't know him well. I just talked to him that night, and that was kind of it. So, but I know 2 people that know him, Todd Senafonte and the Viking Samurai. I know 2 people that do know him, and Viking has interviewed him on his channel. You guys should check out Viking Samurai if you like this channel. That's all his channel's about. It's all about 80s and 90s action. And Viking Samurai himself is a martial artist, and he just started acting now. He's about our age. He's like 40, but he's been in like 3 movies in like the last 2 years, and one that's basically a love letter to Bloodsport called The Last Kumite. It just came out, The Last Kumite. And even Stan Bush did the music for it. Stan Bush did the music for Bloodsport and like Double Impact and all that. Stan Bush did the Transformers theme. You got the touch. Dun, dun. So Stan Bush is that 80s rocker, and they had him do the last Kumite. So I am connected to some of these guys. I would love to get Sheldon Lettich on here for a little interview or something like that. So my white whale is Van Damme and Seagal. Got to find a way to get either one.
Seagal.
Well, here's the angle. Here's the angle how I get to Van Damme. I'm friends with Todd Senefonte. Like, this is the level of our friendship. We send each other memes on Instagram. Then you know your boys.
Yeah.
You know? But no, Todd's been on the show a few times. Todd's a great guy. But Todd, Van Damme stuntman, body double. They have Darkness of Man coming out soon. There's got to be a movie premiere for it. I'm going to ask Todd, come on, get me to that premiere. Get me to that premiere. I meet Van Damme, and then I get him on the show somehow. That's the scam. I mean, the plan. That's how I'm going to try and figure this out. Yeah, plan, not a scam. Yeah. I'm going to try and figure that out. No promises, but that is my goal. Seagal, no idea. No idea. I know the Viking samurai guy knows him and has talked to him by phone, or he knows someone that does a good impersonation of him on the phone. But we got to find him. We'll find him somehow. We'll set our minds to it. We'll figure this out. So I don't know. And then
Seagal, that'd be a trip to get that one. Holy shit.
Yeah. We'll have to make sure he doesn't know about this.
Yeah, don't have any guitars around. I would never get anything done.
Yeah, Jericho. No, we're not going into that tonight. Stephen and the Bear Claws have a brand new album.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
All right, so Rambo 3, you saw this years ago.
Yeah, when I was a kid.
Right.
I remember renting it from the video store.
Right.
And a lot of similarities between this and the second one. And it's only 3 years after it. So, a lot of similarities. That's, of course, Colonel Troutman, Richard Crenna.
Right.
Played by Richard Crenna. And, there's another situation in the world that can only be tackled by men.
Right. So him and Kurtwood Smith of RoboCop fame, right? Kurtwood is one of those great 80s actors. They are two agents from the American government, and they're looking for John Rambo in Phuket. Is that how you say that town? Phuket?
I say fuck it, but it's Phuket.
Phuket. They're looking. Is that Thailand?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're looking for him there. They can't find him because they've got a problem in Afghanistan with the Russians. Remember, that was kind of their Vietnam, the Russians. They were fighting in Afghanistan for like 20 years, like we were fighting in Vietnam as Americans. That was theirs. And so they've got some captured POWs there. I think it was a whole thing about America was going to give Stinger missiles to the Afghani rebels to fight the Russians in Afghanistan. So the Russians captured some Americans, I think, and they're capturing Afghanis and terrorizing the villagers. And they want Rambo to go in there and set these people free from a prison at a little base that the Russians have there in the middle of nowhere. So, and
again,
go ahead.
Very Rambo First Blood Part 2. POWs in the camp. They originally sent them in there just to get pictures, but Rambo's not going to take a bunch of pictures and fucking leave his boys behind, so it becomes a rescue mission.
Right. So you get the awesome. We always do gear up in Rambo movies where he's putting the makeup and he's putting the knife and loading the guns and all that. You get a little bit of gear up here at the beginning of this movie where he's wrapping these hand wraps and getting ready. Because I guess the way he makes ends meet, he works for these, these Thai monks. He works for these monks on their temple, repairing it and building and all that. But to make ends meet, he beats people's asses with sticks in like fighting, which is one of the staples of this channel where there's a crowd of hundreds of people all screaming and betting by waving money and little tickets around. We still don't know how this gambling works. We still don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to hear anything about. I can't multitask. You want to see multitasking? Look at this little, and it's always like some Southeast Asian dude, some little brown Asian dude, taking 50 bets at one time, everybody screaming at him at the same time, and he keeps all that shit straight.
I don't know how. So as they search, they go ask. He wraps up some gear. They go ask. Look at that back. Look at the rhomboid, the trap, the delts. Oh my gosh.
Dude, juice the fuck.
He is like a fucking what was his name? John Riggins, that running back for the Redskins that was like the crazy white boy with the afro. Or Mike Allstott, the fullback for the Buccaneers. He's got that kind of girth to him here. You're right. He's not svelte like he was in Rocky 3 or 4.
No, he's thick, man. And you know, how old is he? Here, he's got to be
40, something like that.
40. So I mean, yeah, can you look like that at 40? Yes, but and obviously he's putting in the work. But I think maybe there might have been some chemical enhancement going on for old Rambo, even for just repair. You know, to repair your muscles and stuff. Look at that. I mean,
look at that hair.
What enemy is going to stand up to that?
You see this back, and you're like, oh God, this guy's serious. Oh God, this guy's serious.
Yeah. Like all he had to do was go to the bad guy's base and just stand at the gate and look at him like that. And they all just piss their pants and put their guns down.
He gives this look walking around Phuket. He gets like women randomly pregnant, just giving him this look, you know?
Yeah. And like 9 months pregnant right off the bat.
Right. Baby's gonna come out with the headband and everything, you know,
and that head of hair. That's what it's 2 births: the baby and then that fucking mane.
Jeez,
it has its own contraction.
Yeah. So if you don't get it by now, guys, the T is off the charts in this movie. You know, it's just insane.
Immeasurable.
Yeah. Of all the Rambo movies, this is the most Rambo. I would agree with Jericho. The best one is 1, and this would, you know, and then how would I rank Rambo? I would rank.
I think they go in order.
I guess I would
rank made.
Rambo 1, I like 2, then I like 4, then I like 3, then I like 5. I think that's the order I would go in. 1, 2, 4, 3, 5. That's how
I think so. 3 would go before 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 5.
Although he did kill people with a hammer in Rambo 5.
1, 2, 4, 3, 5. In part 5, yeah, and dude, oh, so violent. The part where he stabs that cartel dude in the leg with the knife, and then he breaks his clavicle, but then he like grabs the bone and like pulls on it to get the information from this guy. Oh my god, the violence was fucking crazy in part 5.
He is just like death. He's like death's messenger in that movie.
Yeah, and because he knows he's an old man. And, you know, they take something from him that they shouldn't. They took, you know, like a lot of the motivations in action movies, they took the only ray of sunshine that he had.
Right.
You know, he has the memories of all the shit he's done, all the people he's lost, and it weighs heavy on him. And there's this one ray of sunshine, the one thing that will snap him out of his PTSD and put a smile on his face. And these fuckers took that away in the worst possible. I mean,
what happens to Little Ray of Sunshine is just about the worst. I couldn't I couldn't believe it in the movie. You know, I won't spoil it, but
like fucking horrible. So
So yeah, this is a staple of Double Impact. We love this sort of disorganized gambling. People just waving the little billets, the little tickets, and the waving the money. And apparently, one guy's keeping track of all this. And these two are going to take these giant. Is it a tonfa? Is it a mate? I don't know. These big sticks, and they're going to beat the crap out of each other.
Kind of like a screamer or whatever. And yeah, I mean, what it is. And they probably filmed this in Southeast Asia. So they probably, the combined payroll for all these extras is probably $28. But in their money, they were like, yeah, I just did a Rambo movie. I'm fucking balling. And yeah, there's the scars. Remember, in part 2 where the Russians, you know, cut him up real good and had him dipped in pig shit with leeches on him and stuff.
Now, how big is Stallone? He's in real life. Isn't he like 5'9" or something? He's not a big guy at all.
I don't think he's that tall.
I would tower over him. I'm not fighting this guy. I'm not fighting this guy. This guy's ridiculous, dude. Michael Coulter says there's a Rambo 6 coming.
Sylvester,
if there is, they better put our boy
Sylvester Stallone height.
Oh, we'll see.
Oh, 5'10".
Okay.
Can you still hear me when I turn my mic off?
I heard everything you said, so maybe your mic going off didn't work.
Oh, so no, it's because I got 2 mics. Hold on a second.
If they make Rambo 6, they better put Schoolboy back in it. Matthew Marson. Bring him back. Bring him back. Because he didn't die in part 4. So bring him back.
No, he did not. You can hear me now, right?
I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay, figure that out. They got to bring him back in part 6, but it's got to be good. If we're going to have our boy Matt in there, it's got to be good. But I don't, how can it, what's the motivation in part 6? There's nobody left.
I don't know. I have no idea. Who cares? As long as he does stuff like this, it'll be cool.
Yeah, so he's 5'10", so he's a good sized dude. But yeah, it's on. He gets the whooping, and of course, classic action movie fight style. He takes a whooping in the beginning, think they're going to get the best of him, and then he comes back, gets the upper hand, whoops his ass. But there's a level of honor there because he helps the guy up off the ground.
Right.
That's just
business. So he beats some ass, and finally, after touring all of Southeast Asia, I think his name is Griggs. That's Kurtwood Smith. Griggs and Troutman, they find him here at this fight. Like, wow, he's still got it. In fact, I think he's got a little more than he used to have. And all the money is being waved around. So,
and this guy, his agent must have been the busiest agent in the 80s because that guy's in everything.
Right.
He was what's his name?
Was he
RoboCop?
Boddicker, right?
Clarence Boddicker in RoboCop. That dude was in everything. Always a bad dude. I've never seen him in a rom-com. That dude's always a fucking bad guy.
Rambo in Ukraine, Part 6. Oof.
Yeah, there's plenty to do.
Plenty
to do over there.
YouTube doesn't want us talking about that. Oof.
And he'll be taking on the Russians again.
Right. That's true.
Again.
Oh, not these bastards again.
I mean, if he didn't fight out of the 5 movies, he's fighting the Russians twice.
Yeah.
Part 2, Part 3.
That's true.
Fucking Russia. But again, 80s. That was our enemy in real life. Red
Foreman from that 70s show. I never liked that 70s show. There was just something about it I didn't like. I don't watch a lot of TV anyway, but Red Foreman, I don't know. There's something about
I was high school and out of high school in my early 20s when that was on. So I wasn't big into it. You know, I was out doing other shit at that age. Right. But I'll tell you one thing that's hilarious. Fez, Wilbur Valderrama's character, they call him Fez. It stands for Foreign Exchange Student.
Oh, really?
So funny.
Oh, that's funny.
Fez. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I think it's because of my age. You know, when you're that age, you're not sitting in front of a TV too much. You're out there getting that Twinkie stinky. So.
Or at least right. So after the big fight, then they follow him back to the monastery that's being either constructed or repaired or whatever, and that's where he works. When he's not whipping people's asses to death with giant sticks, he's helping the monks make their holy place to contemplate life.
What a juxtaposition.
Right.
You know, he's supremely violent and then goes back not only to help build things, but monks, you know, probably the most peaceful people on earth. And the classic, hey, John, we got this situation, blah, blah, blah. I would do it. I'm here on the scaffolding with the monks. I would do it.
I've changed. I don't live that life anymore.
Yeah, he's giving it up. He probably has a higher body count than the fucking plague, but he's put it behind him. You know, he's put it behind him. He's helping people. He's kind. He's probably, you know, giving people water out of some kind of giant leaf in the jungle. He's a good guy. He's put that behind him. I don't want to do it, Colonel, and he sticks to it. You know, this would be the point where they slap down some kind of file in front of him and like tell him it's his nemesis who's in control, you know, in charge.
Well, they do. Griggs there. Griggs on the right in the cream-colored suit. He does show him a photo of like some kid in a hospital bed.
Yeah,
remember, it's like some little Afghani boy got hit by a rocket or something, and he's half dead or whatever. He's staying out of it. It's not his war, and he's just, you know, I don't live that life anymore.
Yeah, so, the last time you came and got me, Colonel Troutman, you sent me in there, and then you fucking left me. The helicopter, remember the helicopter was there, and they wouldn't land because what's his name? Murdoch. Murdoch told him to leave him there. So got a bit of a bad taste in my mouth there, Colonel.
Yeah, that's so great, that final part of Rambo 2, where he's coming back for revenge on Murdoch and all them after they tried to leave him.
The coldest part. There's 2 cold ass parts in that movie. The part where he's in that mud and you see his eyes open when the guys walk by him and then he grabs him. And then the part where the Russians have him and they're whooping his ass and he says, okay. Because they want him to call and tell them, you know, basically read a script to Murdoch, the other American. And he grabs the mic. He says, okay, fine, talk. And he grabs the mic. And you see his like arm flex when he grabs it. He says, Murdoch, I'm coming to get you. He starts whooping ass. I'm like, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. Think about what you think about one of the great fans around here. Newly married, new father, or been married for a year, because he says, hey guys, can't stay long tonight, but just wanted to stop by and say hi. I celebrated my first wedding anniversary on Monday. Cheers to you all. Now listen, it was your first wedding anniversary, but you leave that woman alone for 6 weeks after the baby's born.
Yeah, but on that
Be nice.
six weeks and 1 day, you get it. You better be scratching at that door like you're an animal and the dog needs to go outside and pee. You better be scratching at the door. Hey, let me give you a bit of advice here. Think about what you think about. On that 6 weeks and a day, already have daycare. I don't know what you guys' support system is like, but if there's somebody you can hand the baby off to, for a day, for a few hours or something, but do your best to get alone time. And here's the key: do it ahead of time so she knows that you thought about it and you planned it and you care. And you're just putting money in that account, in that wedding account. You're just adding cash to that account. Because when they see that you care and you took the initiative and you planned something, it's going to be a celebration of the 1 year anniversary / it's been 6 weeks. It's going to make it that much better. And it's going to be over quick. I mean, come on, it's been 6 weeks. Like, as soon as you see it, you're going to go, oh.
6 weeks is not up yet, but I'm counting. He's all,
yeah, I know you are.
4 weeks, 3 days, 17 hours, 13 minutes, and 45 seconds, asshole.
But who's counting? I know you're counting. We've all had that calendar where we cross off the days, but I'm just saying, when that day comes, no pun intended, make sure you're ready. Have some time. If you can, again, I don't know what your support system's like, but if you can, get as much time as you can alone.
Right.
And try not to fall asleep because you're so damn tired.
Right.
Taking care of the baby.
Right. So these two, they cannot convince him to go into Afghanistan, into the lion's den, to stop the Russians who have the hostages and are terrorizing the Afghani people. So Troutman's
and you would think hostages, that's a slam dunk. For sure he's going to go. Nope. He's staying there with the monks.
I got a new life in the monastery. So Troutman goes with his little fire team. He goes by himself and does not go the way they wanted.
Uh-oh.
And if you like Russian helicopters, you're going to love this movie.
Yeah, if you jerk off to Russian helicopters, you're gonna be pooped.
They got a lot of helicopters, these Russians, in this movie.
They had a deal. Somebody had a deal on helicopters.
We got helicopter. We fight Amerikansky with helicopter.
And they were like, next scene, guess what, guys? And they all say at the same time, helicopter. You got it. You got it. They helicopter the shit out of this movie. But yeah, Troutman can't do it. He gets caught, his team, they get all fucked up. So now they have a new hostage. His name.
Quick, let me answer this question. Is there going to be a Datitude episode this week? There should have been. I have like 36 episodes banked. I've posted the first 11, and I forgot to post a new one because I posted the first 10 like 2 months ago or whatever. I'm doing the one a week. I did 2 a week, and the algorithm didn't like it. It made me lose followers. So I did 1 a week, and now I've done better. So you got to play with YouTube. You got to do what they want. So I forgot to post it this week. I was very busy, and so I'll go back and post 10 or 20 of them again for the next 10, 20 weeks, and then hopefully in 20 weeks from now I'll forget to post the 21st, and there we go. So I'll get them back up there. Sorry about that, bud.
Damn.
So Troutman goes on it solo or with a little crew here, and they get helicoptered. Not all to death though. Troutman gets captured. He is forced to surrender to. What is the Russian commander? Zazin? It's like Jason, but with a Z, right? Like Zazin or something like that.
What is it?
He's the Russian commander.
Some Russian bullshit.
He's commander of this battalion here in Afghanistan. But they get told Zazin.
Yeah.
So it's hands up, Amerikansky. You're going to the gulag.
Piece of shit.
Have you read Alexander Solzhenitsyn's Gulag Archipelago? It's a little bit like that.
I wish, of course he died in the second one, but if they could have got the same guy that was a bad guy in the second one who played Victor Maitland in Beverly Hills Cop, that guy was perfect Russian bad guy.
None the miser. Trade you 2 attack helicopters for a carton of Marlboro and a pair of Levi's. Marlboro Reds or just Marlboros? And
definitely Marlboro Reds. Yeah. And you throw in a can of Pepsi, and we're in.
There you go. I came in late. Has there been any double jacking yet? There's only been double jacking.
That's what we do.
What do you think this is, buddy? So yeah, Colonel Troutman has now added himself to the hostages he was trying to save. So he did exactly the opposite. He did the opposite of what he set out to do.
You jackass. Now they're walking away with more hostages than they had before. And I wonder if it's a respect thing to dress like that when you're in country, because it couldn't have been for him to blend in. It's fucking Richard Crenna. No one's going to think you're Afghan.
No.
So it must be like a respect thing to.
Who knows?
Like that. I don't know.
Who knows? So Griggs,
out there?
Boddicker, Kurtwood Smith, he heads back, tells Rambo, "Hey, now Troutman is captured. What you gonna do? What are you gonna do?" And so Rambo's like, "Damn it, okay, I'll go." So he goes to Pakistan near the Afghan border because he's got to go into Afghanistan where these Russians are attacking the Afghanis. But he goes to Pakistan because there's a fixer there. There's a dude there that's going to help him get weapons, get across, and get to the village that is nearest to the Russian enclave there in the wilderness of Afghanistan. What is this guy's name? It's like Musa or something like that, or Musad or Musa or
Musad, I think.
And they go and have a time. And he's got all these
Musad.
Mm-hmm. This guy, it's in a weird place. You know, there's their typical market with a million people buzzing around and selling chickens and rugs and, you know, meat of dubious distinction.
Yeah, meat and refrigeration.
I got to say, though, Adam Carolla had the great Ari Spear on his show last week, and I listened to the interview. And he said something so profoundly funny but insightful about people being grossed out by food. He was telling Aries, would you, and I'll ask you, Jericho, would you go to a restaurant that had an A or a B or a C in the window?
No.
You'd never
having that information, no.
Right. I wouldn't either. He says, but being a Los Angelino, Adam Carolla, he said people stumble out of Dodger Stadium and they buy a Mexican Dodger dog from someone with a propane tank on the bottom of a shopping cart.
That's true.
No A, no B, no C, nothing. You don't know where that hot dog came from. You don't know those utensils. There's flies buzzing around kids, dogs. But you're just like, yeah, I'll have two.
But ignorance is bliss. If they have their rating like right on the fucking cart, then yeah. But if it's not there, you figure,
nope.
Yeah, fuck it.
Those people don't have health inspections. It's a shopping cart with a propane tank.
But if you want supremely violent diarrhea, then you need to eat from a place like this. You could shit through a tennis racket and not touch any of the sides.
Not get it dirty?
Not get it dirty at all. That shit's coming out with laser focus and PSI. Oh my goodness. There was an episode of Bizarre Foods, and there was like some drink in India where they put it in like a half of a fucking eggshell or something.
Nope.
So it's like some chickpea bullshit, but it was cold. It wasn't hot. And he's like, and you know, Andrew Zimmern, he eats all kinds of wild shit. He'll eat, you know, elephants in an asshole. But he was like, no, that shit's cold. There's no way to kill the bacteria. He's like, I can't fuck that. If you imagine getting third world food poisoning, oh
no thanks.
God. Kill me now.
I read a story on Twitter yesterday where like 80 people at a wedding got violently ill during the wedding. Paramedics were called. People were throwing up so much they were dehydrating. And I guess one of the guests was saying this is one dish with wild mushrooms and goat cheese. And they said that all the mushrooms had this like really chemically weird aftertaste. So I don't know. I don't know.
Somebody didn't wash their hands. I went to a wedding where I think like 8 or 10 people got food poisoning, and I was contacted by the health department.
Wow.
Like that Monday at work. And I was like, no, luckily I didn't have any symptoms, but it was the prime rib was undercooked. And I remember it being super bloody, and luckily I'm not a fan of prime rib, so I didn't fuck with it. I didn't even eat it.
Prime rib is not great. It's not great.
I think it's one of the worst cuts of meat. I'm cool with prime rib.
Yeah, the rib eye. Its cousin, the rib eye, is fantastic. The best piece, I think, is the rib eye.
The best.
Prime rib, you can save it. I will not say where because I don't want to hurt their feelings. I got food poisoning from a restaurant once, so bad in Las Vegas a few years ago, but they covered it. They comped me everything, my hotel room and everything. Even had me back a free like primo suite hotel room and free dinner at their most expensive restaurant, and I went all out at that restaurant. You want to talk about getting like the A5 steak and all the dessert. Well, because it was my wedding anniversary like in 2020 or something. And we went to dinner, fantastic view, everything. And I won't say where because I like it, but stomach was gurgling like later that day. I was like, oh man, did I eat too much? And I thought it was indigestion, and it got worse and worse and worse until I find myself sitting on the toilet with diarrhea, holding the little trash can, throwing up into the trash can simultaneously.
No, you just got to strip down and get in the bathtub, man. That's what you.
And I was sick like that until like the middle of the next day. It was awful. It was like 12 hours of
dude, just strip it down, get in the bathtub, man. That way you can fucking shit and yak and you ain't got to worry about cleaning up the mess. Man.
Thankfully, Adrian didn't get that sick. She got a little bit sick like 5 hours after me, but not like me. And she ran out and got me the Gatorade and all the stuff. And it sucked because we just had to lay around, because I couldn't be far from
nothing, man. You can't do nothing.
To their credit, they comped everything and had us back and comped everything on the comeback and the like. When I tell you where we went, the second time was not the same restaurant. The first one was very expensive. This one was their most expensive, and we got the most expensive things on the menu, and it was amazing. So I won't say the name of it because they treated us as well as they could. And I understand these things happen, dude. Like I get it, I think I've gotten food poisoning about 3 times in my life from restaurants.
What if you got it again the second time?
No, not happening. No way.
You motherfuckers. You got me again.
What is one thing you won't eat because you got sick off of it, but you liked it before? I can name one easily, but
probably fish sticks.
Oh, really?
And being that I'm an adult, man, I don't eat too many fish sticks.
What are you doing eating fish sticks? Was this like after morning nap time and before coloring time?
Elementary school. I ate too many of them one day at lunch, and I can't fuck with fish sticks anymore.
And then you gave them back?
Definitely an alcohol. Southern Comfort. I can never drink that again. Holy hell.
Just the smell of tequila gives me the shivers, too.
To have a nightmare of a hangover after that shit. Woo!
Yeah. Yeah. That is one of the worst feelings in the world, that morning after. Oof.
Dude, I wonder if there's a way. I'm sure one of those alphabet agencies has come up with a hangover, the effects of a hangover in pill form. Like that would be a great way to extract information from like terrorists and shit. If you could put a hangover into a pill or an injection,
throbbing headache and vomiting and
and you could like increase the intensity of it.
No,
I'm sure they could give you food poisoning, like sit a pork chop out in the sun. Dude, could you imagine if they could give you a hangover and be like, hey, if you don't tell me what I want to know, we're gonna make you swallow this pill. And you are going to have 12 hours of the worst shit ever. Ooh, I tell them everything.
Right. Hey, what do you guys want to know?
I'll tell you shit you don't want to know.
None of the mines are White Castle candy. I don't think White Castle's any good. As a West Coast guy, I always kind of wondered about it. We don't have them out here. Now we do. In Vegas, they have them. And I went to it in Vegas, and it's just like, this is...
Little tiny burgers.
Yeah, it's not great. So.
And Crystals, that's the down south version of White Castle.
Crystal Burger.
Same thing.
I found the greatest hamburger in the world. Better than In-N-Out, better than any fast food, better than anywhere you've ever been.
Is it a chain?
No, it's a one place only. The Butchery is a really, really bougie butcher shop in San Diego at this really bougie mall in Del Mar. Del Mar's multi-millionaire homes, beachfront, a little north of La Jolla and Encinitas, which are already rich. And there's the Butchery, and it's just a beef burger, caramelized onions, white American cheese on a toasted butter brioche bun, and you can't believe how good it is. My dad's a gourmet chef. My dad's a gourmet chef for 50 years. This is the best hamburger I've ever had. I've had it 3 times. It's insane every time. And they fry the French fries in beef tallow.
Yeah, it's the ingredients, man.
It's insane.
It makes all the difference.
It's insane.
Great ingredients.
Yeah.
But I think the best chain burger, In-N-Out's cool. I just had one yesterday, protein style, wrapped in lettuce.
Cool.
But for a fast food chain, that best burger goes to Carl's Jr. or Hardee's if you're on the East Coast. The double Western bacon cheeseburger is the greatest fast food hamburger.
My favorite burger, I think the best fast food burger is the In-N-Out burger. If you eat it right after you get it from the drive-thru. Like drive from the drive-thru and park 2 seconds later and eat it hot. It's insane. Take it home. It's
No pickle. Hold the pickle. Hold the tomato.
I don't like their pickles, and I never get a tomato on a burger.
The pickles are too fucking salty.
Yeah.
And tomato, no, I don't need that shit.
My favorite, just big franchise fast food burger is the Big Mac. I think the Big Mac is
what?
insane.
The Big Mac? The double Western bacon cheeseburger shits on the Big Mac.
Just not true.
Shits on it.
Not true.
My two girls, 1 cups the fucking Big Mac.
No, the Big Mac eclipses it, laps it, and laughs at it.
It's not even way.
It's not even out of its league. It's not
disgrace.
out of its league. It's just not even the same sport.
No.
It's just not even close. It's
Western bacon cheeseburger is way better than the fucking little dinky ass Big Mac.
They do have a double Big Mac with 4 patties. So come on.
No, that's twice as bad.
We're gonna we're gonna start a poll then.
The
you want
fucking
it?
Big Mac is
you want it?
patties is twice as bad.
Best burger, and this is not
fast food chain.
Fast food burger. Okay.
Dog shit fast food burger. It's Carl's Jr. or Hardee's. If anyone says Arby's, log out.
Right.
Arby's is fucking gross. Roast beef and cheese sauce. No, thank you. I already had that today.
Now, do you want me to just say Carl's Jr. or what the Western burger?
No, double Western bacon cheeseburger. Don't deny that burger all of its glory.
Okay,
double Western bacon
what other
cheeseburger.
burgers belong on here? What other? Obviously, double.
Whopper. Whopper's got to be on there. I got to represent BK.
Okay. Big Mac, double Western bacon cheese, double, and a Whopper.
What's a double? Oh, In-N-Out?
In-N-Out, double.
You don't get it. Do you get it animal style?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. What man doesn't?
No.
If you don't get animal style when you go to In-N-Out, you're the kind of guy who puts your wife's jeans on to stretch them out when she buys them.
All right. Here we go.
Don't you fucking let me down either, people.
Well, you guys already fucked up with the peanut butter, so we'll see how you guys do here.
No, you and Matt Marsden have fucking subpar mouths. The lining of your mouth is fucking.
Oh, I went to a British pub last Thursday, and it was fantastic. The food, it was fantastic. I had.
Yeah, but did you get the steak and kidney pie?
Hell no! I got Lancashire hot pot. It was chunks of like roasted beef. My mouth was watering thinking about roasted gravy, and it's that kind of like carrot, celery, onion gravy, like that brown beef gravy. But this is homemade. It took a half hour for the food to come out. Then it had scalloped potatoes on top, and then that had cheese, and they ran it through the broiler.
Oh, that's.
Then they give you peas and chips, and it was insane, dude. My wife got a pasty.
Pasties are something different.
And that's it was
pasties what you put over your titties.
Right. This is like puff pastry dough with hamburger, carrot, celery, onion in it, and with like a little bit of gravy. Insanely good. And it always comes with the big French fries. They call them chips, and then peas, and then gravy.
So chips. Did the waiter? You won't be fair, ain't it? They have like a fucked up teeth.
The girl was an American, but the bartender waiter that came over, he was a Brit, actually.
Hello.
Oh, hello, love.
Hello, Gardner.
Hardee's from my home state represent from Spider Ghost.
I know which one you're picking.
In-N-Out once, was impressed. Bacon cheeseburger. Come on, I'm walking here. Let's see. My dad's burger slaps the Big Mac to the floor. Did I use slap right? No.
No. Slaps is music. Smacks is food.
Ah, that's right. We'll see where this poll goes.
We know where it's going. Right up your fucking.
Oh, I gotta do a little Biden action on this poll too. I gotta tell my family to vote for mine.
No, fuck that.
I gotta cheat.
Where's your integrity? No, let them vote. Don't tell them what to vote for. Just tell them to vote.
I can't believe the Whopper is getting any votes that the Big Mac is getting on. The Big Mac is the greatest fast food hamburger of all time. People don't know what you're talking about.
No, it's not.
You don't know. Dude, the Big Mac sauce, that is the greatest burger sauce of all time.
It's better.
It's a million times better than In-N-Out sauce. I don't even get
the Big Mac is the greatest hamburger at McDonald's. Compared to other ones, fuck no. It's too small.
We'll get 2 of them.
It's like the micro penis of hamburgers.
You know what you can do?
Fuck the
Get a
Big Mac.
double quarter pounder.
No.
Tell them to sub the sliced onions for the little dehydrated onions, and get Big Mac sauce, and voila, you got a double quarter pounder Big Mac.
Now, I would pick the quarter pounder or the double quarter pounder over the Big Mac for sure.
But the thing about the Big Mac that makes it so good is the tanginess of the sauce and that pickle. Their pickle's good. That,
Yeah,
like,
McDonald's
that
pickle.
Big Mac bite that contains bun, meat, cheese, sauce, lettuce, pickle, onion, has everything in it. That center bite, that's the perfect
Yeah,
hamburger
the Big
bite.
Mac's a great burger. It's the grandfather of fast food burgers, but it's not the best. It's been surpassed by
I
its
didn't even know people
counterparts.
ate at Burger King. This is egregious, all of you.
The
I
Whopper is
haven't. I
better than the Big
literally.
Mac.
I haven't eaten at Burger King in probably 20-something years. I think their food is atrocious.
Time to go back. Time to get that
No.
Whopper. When I was in high school, like a senior, that's when they had the 99-cent Whopper.
Oh,
Shit,
right.
control. Now it's like fucking $12.99 for a fucking
Right.
Whopper.
I went
Fuck
to
you,
McDonald's last
Gavin
week.
Newsom.
I got a spicy Cajun ranch chicken sandwich, large fries, and a large Diet Coke. $16. I went to the butchery, that place that has the greatest hamburger of all time. Got my tallow French fries and my real like prime beef with the. That was also $16.
Yeah, you might as
Why
well
would-
do that.
Why would I go to McDonald's for the same price?
Because
Insane.
fucking Gavin Newsom and his $20 for burger flippers.
See,
Oh,
Hunch Dirty
fuck,
Roofer,
dude.
you're wrong here. You're wrong, bro. See, everyone says this about Big Mac sauce. It's just 1,000 on dressing. I've
Agreed.
tried it, dude. You can't replicate Big Mac sauce. There's something they're doing that nobody knows. It's like Coca-Cola. You buy all those like grocery store brands of Coke, but it just isn't right. There's something about it. All the fake Big Mac sauce, it isn't right. There's something off. I don't know what it is.
You know what? I worked at McDonald's when I was a teenager, and I can tell you what the secret ingredient
Don't you
is.
dare. Don't.
They stir it with a homeless dude's dick.
Oh,
That's what
I
gives
knew
it that tang. Gives it that tang, that
does
burn.
make a lot of sense. That does make a lot of sense.
There's got to be, I guarantee you there's a video on YouTube of how to make the Big
I've
Mac sauce at home.
looked. You know I love cooking. I've literally looked for that. It doesn't work. It doesn't
I
work.
don't know.
You give me a Big Mac. Now, I will concede to you the Big Mac, amount of meat in a Big Mac is pathetic. That's why you get the double Big Mac with the 4 patties. And really, are they 4 patties? Because each of those little Big Mac patties, they're like half a patty. So I feel
Yeah,
like the 4
they're
patty
tiny.
Big Mac-
That's why it can't be in the running for the best fast food burger when it's so tiny. Do you know if you buy a Big Mac, it comes with AIDS medication?
No, it doesn't.
Because if you eat a Big Mac, you're, well, yeah.
Big Mac sauce comes from Grimace.
It hurts to sit down. I'll put it that way. If you buy Big Macs, it hurts to sit down. Does that make sense?
Okay. The McFunubda. McFunubda?
Fanubda? I don't know.
I don't know what that
Yeah,
means.
extra famunda cheese.
We're
The
gonna
Big Mac's
we're gonna
weak.
need further explanation, friend.
The Big Mac is fucking weak.
Anyway, Rambo heads to Peshawar,
Yeah.
Pakistan,
Now he's in Pakistan.
to get some of those Pakistani Big Macs.
You know what?
And,
Side note, I hate people who speak like regular English, but then say stuff like that. Yeah, so I have a friend from Pakistan.
right.
Or let's go down the street and get a burrito. Like, just
Right.
fucking say it. Just say it with a regular American.
It's best
accent.
when
Don't be
the
an asshole.
Los Angeles news reporter on the street is reporting in
Yeah.
perfect crystal clear English, and then she signs off as Maria Consuela Gonzalez for Channel 8 News.
No, just Maria Consuela Gonzalez. That'll work.
Right. Yeah, we don't
Slow
need
the
the
fuck
3
down.
names, by the way, Maria Gonzalez.
Yeah, and then the troops went to Iran. No, it's
When
Iran.
did it turn from Iran to Iran and Iraq to Iraq? When did that happen?
I mean, that's how people say it over there. But
Yeah.
here, that shit's Iraq and Iran. Who gives a shit?
I don't know.
I don't have respect for any place that we drop bombs on.
So,
Got enough glow sticks?
is it Musa? That's a real name, Musa. Is it Musa or Musad? Or what'd you say?
Mossad.
Musad is a
Mossad.
fixer in Peshawar, Pakistan. He helps the Afghan rebels smuggle in weapons and all that. And I don't know if he uses those prosthetic legs back there to do it. He shows Rambo this crate of looks like plastic explosive glow sticks and timed like bomb timers. That's gonna be the world's worst rave.
Yeah, at the end they fucking blow up the whole fucking
and
kill everybody.
Stallone's like spinning glow sticks, you know.
He's on ecstasy, fucking grinding his teeth.
Hey, am I grinding my teeth loud? I feel like I'm loud grinding my teeth.
Hey, can you give me a massage?
Oh man,
Okay.
I feel so good right now.
Poor Sylvester. Get E-tarded.
So then he's showing him the glow sticks for some unknown reason. You ever been to a real rave in Germany? It's the Unz music.
Before I take the ecstasy, can I see your papers? You fucking Germans and your papers. Yeah, that's Mossad. He's helping out. He's the liaison.
Right. So here's the little Russian base that's in the middle of nowhere, Afghanistan, and it is near some village. They'd like to terrorize them and capture them. And again, remember, they have some American people too, I believe. Or they're trying to get information out of people because there was a intelligence. The Russians had that the Americans were going to give Stinger missiles to the Afghani rebels to fight the Russians. So the Russians are always traveling around the desert in their helicopters too. And guess who's there? Guess who's back in the mother-loving house? Colonel Troutman is paying a visit to the Russian gulag. And he comes here to talk to, is this guy also a colonel? Lieutenant? I don't know. He's big boss Zazin.
No, he's a colonel too.
So it's Colonel versus Colonel. Yeah. So it's Colonel Sanders versus Colonel Troutman versus Colonel Zazin.
And no matter how shitty the place is, they always find a way to get some kind of brown liquor there. Respect that.
Michael Coulter says, double quarter pounder. That's my goal to go to at McDonald's. That's all I eat there. Nothing else.
Yeah, he doesn't waste his time with no whack-ass Big Mac. And when I worked there as a teenager in high school, we would make the Big Mac, but we would use the quarter pounder buns. Now that's a real hamburger. Couldn't even close the box.
Dang. Right. So he's interrogating the shit out of him, and he will not give up the goods, though. He will just not do it.
Good guy.
Which is, I think it's admirable. I think it's very admirable. So, yeah. So,
the pole is blocking.
Oh, everything. Sorry.
Get that pole out of his face.
I do like. I was watching some movie the other day, and the lead female was pretty, and then she opens her mouth, and her teeth are kind of brown and crooked, And I do like in the old days that you didn't have to have straight teeth to be like a beautiful star. Like nowadays, they have to be like titanium white teeth that are bizarrely straight.
No, there's some celebrities out there that have. What I find is, excuse me, the top row is usually straight. When you smile, that's all you're going to see. But the bottom row is fucked up. Will Ferrell has one of the worst bottom rows I've ever seen. Keanu Reeves, fucking terrible. So if you got a good top row, you'll be all right. But that bottom row is fucked. But then you look at them, you have money. Why wouldn't you get braces? But I guess they figure, fuck it, I'm already famous. I can bang any chick on earth if I want to. Why get the braces now?
So there's torture and interrogation going on with Troutman from Zazin and
Colonel to Colonel.
Colonel, that's right. This is Colonel to Colonel talk. You do not disrespect Colonel. I am Colonel. You are Colonel.
Hey, we're talking here. It's Colonel's talking here, please.
So one thing that strikes me about this movie, even though it's like, it's dumb 80s action, I think the lighting and the cinematography is great in this. Obviously, it was a big budget movie, but a shot like this, as an illustrator myself, I love this shot here. This would be a great way to draw a comic book panel. This tells you so much about what you want to know about the locale and the people and stuff like that. It's a great establishing shot. That's what we call it in the biz, an establishing shot. So you get a view of this valley, and you get an idea, the Russians are way out there, and the Afghani little villager people, they're probably down near the bottom of this hill or whatever, but you get a view of the wild, untamed nature out here that they're going to also have to deal with. And that'll factor in. That will factor in when we're climbing rock walls and we're going into that bizarre cave that with the entrance is straight down instead of horizontal. Yeah. The cave that plays a role in this movie. Oh, here it is. None the Miser says, the graveyard of empires. Yes, Afghanistan.
That's right. Nobody can fuck with Afghanistan.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, No, go ahead.
Well, people think it's like the Middle East, and you have to remember it's actually Asia, right? It's actually Asia Minor, and it's not a flat desert how you like to in your head stereotype, Muslim, Arab states and stuff like that. It is got mountains like Colorado. It's got insane mountains. It also has desert. It has an insane terrain out there. So yes, the graveyard of empires. Very hard to take it on. I guess we Americans, we face the jungles of Southeast Asia, and the Russians, they faced the mountains and the valleys and all that stuff. There was very hard to operate in. Hence
and so did we.
Yes,
we spent 20 years in fucking Afghanistan.
Oh
ended
yeah.
ended up leaving with our dicks in our hand. I not to get all political and shit, but I think as far as 9/11 and going after Al Qaeda, I think that could have been solved with some special forces units going there and taking out key, players in the game. Remember they had that. Remember the deck of cards
Right.
of all the heads of Al Qaeda and shit. I think that could have been accomplished with a much smaller group, maybe like the Airborne Rangers or something like that. But then they wouldn't make trillions or billions of dollars off of that. So,
right. So yeah, Mossad is giving Rambo the lay of the land. They're gonna learn about what they're gonna do, and then of course they see some jets fly by, some Russian jets fly by.
MiGs,
yeah,
MiGs.
And again, as an artist, as an illustrator, this is a fantastic shot. The composition here, following the rule of thirds. When you cut an image into thirds horizontally and vertically, where those lines intersect, that is the most interesting part of the illustration psychologically for the viewer. I'll show you guys. I'll do this real quick. I'll make it fast. So this is your art lesson from Gabe, real fast. Sorry, just give me 1 second. I have a very fast computer now, so I can do this quickly. So you have an image, you cut it into thirds, and that is where you want to put points of interest for your viewer. You don't typically want to split things like down the middle, horizontally or vertically. So I'll just roughly put the thirds in here and show it to you, and that is where the interest will be. You see? So if you put things near these vertices right here, this is where things are going to be really interesting. You notice there's this mountain back here. It's put on the third. So you also could put your horizon line on that third too. That's a really good thing to do. And that's the reason these two are standing here. They're near this third here. So this is not like an accident, like, oh, just get the camera out and stand over there. This is all planned out. All of this kind of stuff is planned out. And as an illustrator, as an artist myself, I see it in movies all the time. Movies are the cousins of comic books. They really are. Let's see. No, I don't want to save this. Let's see. Don't save. Okay, but yeah, when I was looking at the images today, when I was gathering them, I was noticing the composition of someone. I just thought, wow, that's really good. Actually, I wonder who the director of photography was. So they're going to stage themselves outside of the Russian enclave, and they find this thing that I love. It's one of the hills has a hole in the top, so it's a cave system, but you enter it through the top of it, which is you usually would enter a cave horizontally to the side. But that'll come into play later. This is a kind of a place
be careful.
Yeah.
No room for air entering fucking 50 feet off the ground. And going back to the last one real quick. Remember, guys, when you are doing clandestine missions in the desert, you want to make sure that you're wearing all black. So you blend in with the surroundings like Rambo there.
Right.
It keeps you cool too, all black in the desert. Keeps you nice and cool. Blend right in. Jeez.
Real quick, where was this filmed? It was filmed. I remember looking this up in Arizona. Some of it, I wouldn't be surprised if that's where some of this is. I spent a lot of time driving through the Nevada and Arizona and all that on my way to Colorado. This looks like that to me, but it was also filmed in Israel and a little bit in Thailand for the opening scenes with the monks and the stick fighting in Phuket and all that. So Israel and Arizona. I don't know what Afghan scenes are Israel, and I don't know which ones are Arizona, but there you go. So yeah, this cave will come into play later. There's a good hiding spot for Rambo.
Sure will.
Get away from
Russians. There's a good kill in this cave.
Right. So here he is being tortured. There's this big muscle head that works for Colonel Zazin. He's a Russian torturer, and he's pulling Troutman up and down, and there are the stingers. They're just trying to, they're just trying to get info on this guy. What were you doing here? What are the Americans doing? How are they helping? And he, to his credit, will not give up anything. So
he's a tough guy, and he's been through it before. Him and Rambo were in Nam, so they've been through some pretty bad shit together. So it's going to take a lot to get the old colonel to the top.
Right. Talking about the rule of thirds, that illustration thing I was telling you guys, think about what you think. It brings up an important artistic point, or just add tits and your eyes will be drawn to them. That is true. The boobies, they do break the rule of thirds. You can put them anywhere on the page.
And in Total Recall, you get them in thirds.
There you go.
Very much.
Right. So Colonel Troutman's being tortured, and here comes Rambo into the Afghani camp to meet the people. This was a shot of this lady here with her hazel eyes. You know what I mean? And my dad has hazel eyes. My dad is Middle Eastern. Obviously, I'm half. And I think when people think of Arab people, they probably just think, black hair, brown eyes. And it's like, it's not true. Tons have hazel eyes and stuff like that. Because that Mediterranean, just lots of mixing there between the Italians and the French and the Spanish and the Arabs and the Greeks and all that. So it's not uncommon to see lighter eyes on these darker skinned people with dark hair. So I thought that was...
the first thing people do when they invade somewhere, you're going to get to it.
Food, fucking, and fighting. The 3 Fs.
And not in that order.
What would they be? It would be fighting, then fucking, and then food? Would it be in that order? Okay.
Yeah, the last two, those can be switched around either way because you can do both.
Sure.
You get a nice meal and you're fucking too. You can do those both. But yeah, definitely get the fighting out of the way first.
Right. So he comes in here and it's got that great underdog thing going on. These people are living in these ramshackle mud huts held together, wood, and just hanging on by their fingernails. They've been attacked and terrorized by the Russian invaders, and even child soldiers. And that little boy in the green hat, Hamid, I believe it is, he'll play into this. He's young and all that, but he's brave and he wants to fight for his people, and he's seen some loss and stuff like that. So it's a sad situation. People living in squalor and their country being overrun. It's not good. It does look pretty hopeless. And that image is tiny. And let's see. Oh, that one was too. So then Rambo, he meets with like the men of the village, and they're talking about, they explain to him what's going on and what their plan is to go in there and take out the Russians, save some of the hostages, and just see if they can get rid of this Ruski menace. And it doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good.
No, there's only about 100 men. So they're outnumbered, they're outgunned. All they have is their heart and determination. And you mix that with little John Rambo, you got something.
Right. And I don't know what it is, something so simple like this, but I've always liked this. When people are making the plan and they make it out of like rocks or whatever they have nearby, or soda cans, or the stapler's the bank, the soda can's the getaway car, and just I've always thought that was such a neat motif. I don't know why. And I just realizing in Jericho Green and the Hammerheads, this has to happen. The kids are making a plan, and they're using Star Wars men and Legos and
Hot Wheels and shit.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, there's got to be a plan scene. This is right up there with the gear up scene,
right?
Because you have to have your plan. Who's where are you coming in? Where are the buildings? Where are the guards? Where are the guard towers and stuff like that? And it really does help, because if you picture something, I always tell my kids this. Like if we're practicing boxing or something at home, or if they're going to do something, I always tell them, close your eyes and visualize it in your head first. Because even doing that, it won't be so new to you when you actually do it. So these scenes like this, where they're actually going over it, when they get there, it's going to be familiar to them. It's going to make it easier. And it's going to take away some of that. Well, where do I go? What do I do? You've seen it before. So it's very important to visualize.
It's so weird to like visualize something synthetically and then go there in real life and be like, get deja vu. That's happened to me, of all things, Grand Theft Auto. Now, as you guys know, I live in Southern California, and my daughter started going up to Hollywood when she was in high school about 10 years ago to do stand-up comedy and improv and all that stuff. And my son had got Grand Theft Auto 5. And I played it because I don't play video games now, but that was probably one of the last games I played. And, you go around town causing mayhem. And Grand Theft Auto 5 has a pretty good damn map of LA and Hollywood and the surrounding area. And I'd never really been to Hollywood or anything. I've never been to downtown LA or anything before my daughter started going up there for stand-up comedy and improv lessons and all that. And having played that game, I drive my daughter to Hollywood. And also I get to this one bridge near downtown LA. And I'm like, I've been here.
I killed somebody right over there.
But I couldn't figure it out for like a minute. I'm like, when did I come here when I was little? It's like, oh my God, Grand Theft Auto. I knew my way around. It was the weirdest freaking thing. It's the weirdest thing. Also, I remember when I was in college, it was Grand Theft Auto Miami. The Miami Vice one? Grand Theft? It was Vice City. That was developed by Rockstar San Diego. That was a video game developer. I don't think the studio exists anymore. But there's this road to Crown Point and Coronado. It's the Coronado's where the Navy SEALs train here in San Diego and all that. And there's these hotels. It's called the Silver Strand here in San Diego. and I was playing the Miami Vice Grand Theft Auto like in 2002 or something like that. And I was driving down it on a motorcycle. I'm like, I've been here before. And then I realized, oh, this is like near Coronado and all that. Even though it was supposed to be Miami, they copied part of the street and hotels in San Diego. Really, it was a really weird thing, though. So that's happened to me twice, to play a video game and then go there in real life and know my way around. Is very strange. I found my daughter's apartment in Hollywood in that game, and the Comedy Store. It's all there. It's really weird. So
when you went there, did you pull somebody out of the car and shoot them because you did it in Grand Theft Auto?
In a video game, you do mayhem. In real life, I follow the law all the time.
Damn it. I do that when I go to the grocery store if I'm getting stuff for dinner and I don't make a list. I'll picture in my mind putting the dinner together to make sure I have everything. I'll build it in my head to make sure I don't forget anything. But yeah, visualizing, it helps.
It really does. I remember using that as a football coach. I was coaching my 7-year-old like flag football players or something like that. 8-year-old. Oh, it's the first year of tackle, 8-year-old. And I had a good little player on defense, and he played some offense too, and he would fumble the ball. And one day at practice, I just told him, 3 points of contact. You got your bicep, you got your chest, you got your hand on the front of the ball. I said, now close your eyes and imagine yourself running. And he's like, okay. I said, now imagine people hitting you and tackling you, and you see the ball and it doesn't fall out of your arms. Just see that. You're doing it. You're running, you're getting hit, you're getting tackled, but you hold it. Never fumbled again. Really, never. And he had a problem fumbling. But if you can dream it, you can do it. I'm not even kidding. Visualize things, guys. It really actually helps.
Yeah. The last game, my son plays flag football. The last game, they had some fumbles, so they're working on it yesterday. And every time they fumble, they have to run around this tree and come back. Yeah, took care of that shit.
Wow.
Real quick. They were real careful after that. They did 2 or 3 times. And they were you could hear them hey guys, come on. Hey, make sure you have, they were self-policing. It was pretty funny.
Right.
To see them doing that. But yeah, visualize people, visualize.
So they're making the plan with the elders of the village, with the men of the village. It doesn't look great. Stallone's there listening, and he's talking with these guys. And is this the guy we don't like him? Is this the traitor with this mustache? I don't remember. There is one guy that ends up going to Colonel Zazen.
He looks like a fucking traitor.
He looks like the guy. We'll see later. We'll see the picture of that guy. And, he decides, what we're going to do here to fend off these Russians and save Colonel Troutman, and we're going to figure it out. Of course, the Russians are always patrolling around their damn helicopters like they own the place. And look at that.
And they're telling him, hey, we can't do it. You're only one man. What? You don't got a team and all this shit. They're they obviously don't know who they're dealing with. Trying to be friends with a little kid.
Obviously, you guys have no idea who I really am. Why don't you ask? Why don't you ask the Vietnamese who I am?
Oh yeah, I killed them all.
Oh, that's right. You can't ask them because they're dead.
I killed all the people in Vietnam.
What is the sheriff? What is the sheriff in First Blood? Sheriff Teasel. That's right.
Wow. Asshole. Why don't you ask Sheriff Teasel's dead ass?
All you had to do was let him get a burger.
Ugh.
That's all you had to do.
That's literally, there'd be no Rambo if they just gave him his burger with everything on it. That's
you
what
could you could have even taken him there and had lunch with him. And I'm gonna give you a ride out of town.
But Sheriff Teasel didn't like no hippies in his town. Get the hell out of here.
Asshole.
And
he paid for it too.
All he wanted, and if you read the book, the lady says 2 burgers, drag him through the garden. That's what she says. I love that restaurant lingo of that means lettuce, pickle, onion, tomato, put all the veggies on it with cheese, and get this guy. I think he wanted 2 burgers and a bottle of Coke. That's all he wanted.
What's more American than that? Give that man 2 burgers and a Coke. As a matter of fact, it's on the house. Thank you very much. Give him a ride to the edge of town. Have a good day, son. Thanks, Sheriff. Yeah.
Brian McCormick, no idea who this is directed at. What do you hunt with? A knife?
What do you hunt with a knife?
Oh, what do you hunt with a knife? Oh, is this a joke?
I don't know if it's a real question. I've heard. I used to work with this guy from Tonga named Lepetti, and back in Tonga they would have machetes and jump out of the trees on the backs of wild hogs and kill them.
Have you ever seen those guys that fly? The guys that fly in Texas in helicopters and shoot the hogs with rifles?
Spray those. I'd love to do that so bad. Spraying the shit on because they're so invasive. You know, you can't kill too many of them.
They destroy
you kill as many as you want. Yeah, I'd love to do that. But respect to bow hunters and stuff like that, you know, because yes, there's a bit of ease to it when you have a gun and you're shooting it from, you know, 200-300 yards away. But bow hunters, yeah, much respect to them because they got a bow is only effective for like 40 yards.
Right.
So even if you got, you know, boom, on the top of the line, arrows and tip and the bow and all that, you're only effective for about 40 yards. So you got to get pretty damn close.
We'll have a very effective bow later in this movie that I love. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I love it. Again, a lot of this is from the second one. So the bow with the explosive tips is back.
Right. So, so Hamid is talking to him, telling him he's going to fight and he's going to this. And Rambo's not too sure about this kid getting involved in any action or anything like that.
He's like 10 or 11.
Right.
Listen, Hamid, maybe you should just play with Legos or something like that.
Yeah, I got hemorrhoids over here.
So then they have this bizarre game that's sort of like football meets polo. And the men, the Afghani men, and it's the corpse of a goat or a lamb, I'm unsure. Yeah, and you pick it up and you run with it and you throw it into these circles to score, I think. And that's literally what they start playing, this sheep football, I guess. You know,
you talk about, I bet this game is like 2,500 years old. Like this is old shit.
You know what this game, how it was invented? They had to tenderize the meat for the big lamb they were going to braise that night. And, so they just throw it around for an hour and a half.
Yeah, they didn't have any rocks.
Right. Then they give it to the women to roast for them after the game's over.
Yeah, after they fucking beat it off the fucking desert floor for a few hours. And
shirts for skins. We're going to play a little throw the lamb around.
Dude, and then they kind of doubted him. They didn't think he could do it. But fucking John Rambo, people. When are you guys going to learn that this is John Rambo?
Right. Afghani Kidditch, for the Harry Potter fans out there. That guy on the left is clearly offsides.
Yeah, penalty. The penalty is you get kicked in the nuts by the horse.
What? So. Okay, let's talk sports a little bit because my Denver Nuggets are destroying LaFlop James, who I can't.
Veronica. You see what he said? It's just basketball, guys. It's just
all
basketball.
Of you out there, all of you millennials and Zoomers and basketball ignoramuses who think LeBron James can hold Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant's jock, you're high. He's not as good as them. He never will be. He doesn't have it. Physically, he might be the most freaky, gifted player of all time. It doesn't matter because he doesn't have it where it counts in the mentality.
He doesn't have a killer instinct, man.
He doesn't have it. He's a beta leftist in the body of an absolute monster.
Yeah, he just doesn't have that. Kobe and Jordan would step on their own mother to win a championship. They'd apologize after and probably buy her a nice house. But in the game, they would fucking step on their own mother's hand to win a championship. And LeBron just didn't have it in him. There's was it the 04? I think it was the 04 or 08 Olympics where Pau Gasol was playing on the Spanish team, and Kobe Bryant.
Pau Gasol, Kobe Bryant's teammate on the Lakers, by the way.
Yes, they played together. They won championships together. But in the Olympics, America versus Spain, and this is when the European teams started to match America. You know, in '92, the Dream Team, it hadn't gone global like it is now. You don't have all these, European teams in other countries. But especially the European teams were really good. And he told the guys, he said, the very first play, I'm going to walk right through Pau Gasol. And they're like, oh, he's your teammate. Very first play, you can see it. He runs out and just throws his shoulder into him and knocks him on his ass. Like, it's 2008. Thank you, Mr. Reeves. But that was his instinct. Like, that's my teammate. We play. He probably goes to the house and shit for barbecues. But here and on this floor, you're my enemy and I'm going to kill you. And Kobe or fucking LeBronica, she don't have it. She does not have it.
Yeah, I saw that nonsense. Spider Ghost, JJ Redick talk about MJ's era was soft. These people don't know. They don't know. If you didn't see 80s and 90s basketball, I don't want to hear from you. Because my son is 27. He understands MJ's the greatest because I raised him right. But his college, high school buddies, kids I've known forever, sitting there arguing with me about LeBron and sending me stats. And I just tell them, listen. I saw MJ's career. I watched all of it. I watched Kobe's career. I watched all of LeBron's career. I will tell you from watching all three, I know who the best is, dude.
And LeBron's been playing for 20 years. 21 years he's been playing. And his shit's like regular season shit. Like,
I do love that not only is he the greatest player in the league, but he's one of the greatest players of all time, in my opinion. If he wins another championship or two, he'll be a top 10 player, and you won't be able to deny it because his stats are there. No, I'm not saying who he is yet. Nikola Jokic. The big, goofy Serbian white boy is literally one of the greatest basketball players of all time. It's insane because he looks like, jiggly and like he doesn't look like that guy, and he's insane. He's insane.
Look at Brady,
right?
Brady didn't look like shit. He's the greatest quarterback to ever play. But yeah, I mean, but LeBron, I don't know. They asked him, "Was this going to be his last year?" And he's like, "I don't want to talk about it." And then he put in a tampon.
And then he started crying.
I think he's at the end of it. It's 21 years. Do it.
Guys, we're at a very crucial moment of not just the show.
We're not.
Double impact.
Cheated.
I did not cheat.
You cheated. A minute ago, the double Western bacon cheeseburger had 44%, and the Big Mac had 11. Now they're neck and neck.
If the Big Mac gets one more vote, I will end the poll immediately to cheat and win.
No, ask your wife and your
I'm not
daughters
asking
who they
my
voted
wife.
for.
No, I'm not asking my wife because you know what? My wife and my brother, my own brother Abe, both of their favorite hamburgers, that fucking Western bacon cheese. Both of them.
Right. Damn right.
So no, my wife is not allowed to vote in this poll. No.
There's been no suffrage in this house. You women ain't voting.
I'm half Arab. I'll put that woman in a burqa so fast.
You won't even know what happened.
You won't even know what happened.
Is your eyes, lady.
Come on, somebody vote for a Big Mac.
No wrist, no ankle, no nothing. No, double Western bacon cheeseburger.
No.
Vote for the right one.
I need one Big Mac, and then I end the poll. Just like Joe Biden, I sneak in my fake votes, and then I end the poll.
2 a.m., 5,000 votes.
You guys are not going to do me like you did me with the damn creamy peanut butter. It's not happening.
That was the truth. That was the people speaking the truth. They were speaking their truth, actually. But make sure you guys vote for the double Western bacon cheeseburger, not to be a fucking rotten cheat like Gabe, but because it's the best fast food hamburger on this planet. My brother won't eat at Carl's Jr. anymore because he went there. He loves that burger, and it's a great burger, the double Western bacon. Don't get me wrong. It's a great burger. Onion rings on it.
The onion ring and the barbecue sauce, it was a brilliant idea. Only a stoner could have done that. Hey, dude, what if we put the onion ring in the burger, bro?
Dude, I don't want to grab an onion ring and bite my burger.
Oh, man. If only there was a way to put the burger and the onion ring and the soda together, dude.
Dude, the fucking milkshake, bro, and stuff a napkin in there, dude. I don't know why my mouth, dude.
I just need one fraudulent Big Mac vote, please.
No, do the right thing.
Someone out there, if you haven't voted yet,
fucking right thing.
Vote for the Big Mac, please.
Whoppers.
Put me over the top. I've already cheated. I've already cheated with my 3 a.m. ballot dump. Put me over the top.
Fucking double Western bacon. You people know. I know they're going to do the right thing. I'm not even worried about it.
We'll come back to it.
Yeah. This poll we're coming back to.
They're playing throw the lamb around the wasteland.
Yep.
And then the Russians decide to spoil what is a beautiful day. And
now it's time to strafe the village below.
Look at him. Look at him. The Russians are coming in their helicopters, and he's out here flexing his bicep, holding onto this dead carcass of a lamb.
Dude, he's got that still pic right there over his fireplace in one of his mansions.
Right.
Well, look at that. Shredded.
Look at just insane. Just insane.
Look at his shoulder. Look at his left shoulder.
Jeez.
Look how sculpted that shit is.
Ugh. Here they come, ruining the game. They're going to ruin it for everyone.
Assholes. Russian assholes.
Just attacking people on horseback with their stupid attack helicopter.
Sounds like a drink. Let me get a Russian asshole. What's her name?
And I do like this about the movie. It's very Cobra Commander. It's very 80s. That the main villain, Colonel Zazen, isn't back at base giving orders. He is in the damn helicopter flying around terrorizing people.
Yeah, he's shooting Afghani people too. Same with the last guy in part 2.
He's so evil. He has that little regard for his own life. He would rather shoot at these villagers than stay safe and warm back in the gulag where he lives.
He doesn't want his soldiers getting all the killing.
Right.
He wants to do some killing too, and that's how the guy in the last one died. He shot down his helicopter, sitting there hovering, and then Rambo sits up with a rocket launcher, boom, blew his fucking ass up. So yeah, these damn Russians like to be hands-on.
Yeah, it's chaos, and they're getting demolished. You know, they can't fight back with small arms like these AK-47s.
Yeah.
But then Rambo says, hey, this looks like a crew serve weapon over here. And he jumps on this. What is that? What are those rounds, Jericho? What size are those?
It's like a 25 millimeter. It's a anti-aircraft gun.
I don't know how the sight
do the
on
trick.
that. I don't know how the sight on that works, but I love it.
It's old school.
Yeah,
this shows you that they may be old weapons, but they still work.
Sure.
Like they'll still bullet is still a bullet, man. It'll fuck you up.
Yeah, this is hardcore.
Boom. During Second Gulf War. What was it? Which one did we get into? The Afghan War? Yeah, whichever one we got into first, that one or Operation Iraqi Freedom Further, the weapons of mass destruction. But what they did was they had a bunch of bombs left over, surplus from Vietnam, because that was the last war we were in. And they put these JDAM kits, the joint something attack munitions. Basically, it was a fin system, because before that, bombs are just gravity bombs. You drop them at a certain point and just carpet bomb shit. But with these new kits are basically these fins with a GPS on it. You could turn a dummy bomb or a gravity bomb from Vietnam into a precision guided weapon. So now instead of dropping it and kind of dropping it so it coasts, and hits its target, now you can drop it within 30 feet of the target. So it turned into precise weaponry. So yeah, it may be old, it'll still fucking kill you.
But she's got it where it counts.
That's right. That's all I care about.
Right. So they a helicopter gets blown up. Zazen is surprised. Didn't see that coming. I did not see that coming.
You asshole. So yeah, he's not happy, but hey, they laid down some Afghanis before he did that though.
Yeah, kill them. This dude's having more trauma. It's probably not great for his after what he's been through. This is not great for his mental health.
He's actually back in Thailand beating some dude over the head with a stick and then going and building a fucking monastery. But instead, I'm back in this shit.
Yeah, so he's talking to one of the leaders. I don't know the leader's name. And Hamid's still alive, the little boy. Yep. And Mossad is still alive. It's like, what the F are we going to do? And like, all right, that breaks it. We're headed there. We're headed to the gulag, and we're going to take these suckers out where they live. And we're going to save Colonel Troutman. So you got guard dogs. They got searchlights. They got this son of a bitch torturing everybody in this stupid gulag. And Rambo's sneaking up, and it's great. Checking for landmines with the knife, picking at the dirt, looking for the landmine detonation, getting through the wire fences, killing bad guys, setting timer bombs. There's a part where he hangs on the bottom of a tank and to get through because there's guards walking around the yard and he hangs on the bottom of a tank. It's great. And I think I got a shot of it. Yeah, he's sneaking all over and setting bomb charges for like 5 or like 10, 15 minutes from now. Look now. Yeah. Again, his physique. Look at his freaking obliques there on the ribs. Look at that, dude.
Shredded.
The guy doesn't have an ounce of fat on him, dude.
Nope. He's eating chicken breast and fucking broccoli for months before this.
Right.
Probably he's lightheaded and shit on set.
Right.
But yeah,
I heard about him like in this movie doing push-ups and reps and stuff between sets to keep his pump going on his muscles, and he would dine on like I think honey and stuff like that just to give himself blood sugar so he could keep running and stuff. But he was staying as trim as possible to keep those muscles just popping. Because that whole shredded thing, people don't look like that unless they're doing the weightlifting contest that week. Even the gym bros, that kind of definition is unreal. That's just insane. So here we are back in the gulag, some Russian thugs terrorizing their prisoners. What are the Americans doing? Sending weapons to the Afghanis. Tell us the truth. Tell us the plans. And, they're not giving it up. To their credit, they're being tortured. They're not giving it up.
Just another Saturday night at the Russian base. Right. Torturing. What you guys going to do tonight? Torture some Afghanis. That's be fucking
can you cover for me on the torture? My old lady wants to go out and,
she's been bitching. I made all this hummus.
All you do is torture prisoners, and then you come home and you don't even help with the baby.
What do you want? I've been torturing people all day here, drinking vodka and torture. You come out, the baby. So he's
I'm
like, yeah.
changing diapers. That tortures me.
You ever take cables and put them on man's ball sack and turn on electricity? You ever do that? No, you here breastfeeding the baby and washing the clothes on a fucking rock. Oh, the fucking
You ever
blah,
try to
blah,
do
blah.
laundry while the baby's screaming?
You ever try to listen to you fucking bitching all the time? That's fucking torture. I tell him, no, don't hook the electricity up to him. Bring him to my house. Let him listen to my fucking wife. That is the torture.
That's it. I'm going to my mother's.
Oh, you go to your mother. That's where you learn to be fucking bitch.
How dare you? And scene. I liked how you said instead of torturing with a gulag, I'll just bring him here to listen to you.
No, let me bring wife here. She talk, oh, the baby. You tell me everything I want to know. Fucking torture.
Right. Yeah.
Poor guy. I feel bad for that imaginary fucking Russian soldier.
Oh, can you imagine? They electrocute his balls. They're doing all these things to him, and then they bring in the nagging wife, and he just gives up all the intel.
Okay.
All of it.
Okay, brother. I tell you.
Okay, the shipment comes in Wednesday. They're going to have 3 guards. There's a fake truck coming. It's not the first one. It's the second truck. Please, just tell her to shut up, please.
I told you I can do your job better than you.
I could have married Ron Johnson. He's a dentist.
Please. You know, bring him in. He takes my place. I go live happy. Don't listen to you fucking bitching all the time.
You know they have a Subaru? Not like you.
You know what? Fuck you, okay? Fuck you. Tomorrow at work, I kill myself. I jump off a mountain. I kill myself. You get money from insurance policy. I'm that one to you, bitch, and you can buy your fucking Subaru.
Oh, my goodness.
Poor guy.
Sounds awful. I feel very sorry for Ivan. Ivan, you know, I told him not to marry Helga, but Helga's got the great ass. So there you go.
Her ass is nice, and vagina was so tight. Now it's loose and it smells. There's hair all over.
Are you enjoying it now, Ivan? Was it worth it?
Ugh.
So anyway, he's infiltrating the base, and this is a fun scene, man. He's setting those bombs, sneaking past guards, the searchlights, and again, he rides on the bottom of this tank by grabbing that like rope or cable on the front, and the tank drives through the camp, so that way he's able to hide himself and sneak through. And I believe he had them do this shot so you could get this shot of his deltoids.
Can we just have me fucking close up on the bicep?
I've been doing a lot of side shoulder raises, and I want to show it off for the camera.
Dude, you did that. And the one guy you don't want to be is a guard in a guard tower when John Rambo is lurking around, because you're going to get a knife to the neck, you're going to get an arrow in your chest, you're going to get fucked up if he's trying to get into your base camp.
This is one of my favorite things about 80s and 90s kind of action movies is the infiltration of the bad guy base. We have this in Dean Cain, All-American Lawman, Volume 1, Dangerous Freedom, where Chris Tanaka, our hero, he's invading that bad guy where the bad guys are holed up in the final scene, and he's sneaking in the dark. He shoots one guy in the head with an arrow. You know, it's really fun. So we do an homage to these kind of scenes in that for sure.
Yeah, these are the best ones.
Yeah.
These are some of the best scenes in action.
Oh, movies. Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah, there we go. I know you guys would do the right thing. We can stop the poll now.
If only there was a way to cheat.
End it. You already tried that.
I'm going to leave it up for just a little longer. I hope something will come.
Go ahead.
I hope something will come through. I'll quickly create another. I'm going to create 5 more YouTube accounts really quick and then go vote.
Delay the inevitable, Gabe. Go ahead.
We have to wait for the mail-in ballots. There were mail-in votes. They'll be in a week or 2.
Yeah, because you sent people used to have to request a mail-in ballot, but now you decided to just send them to everybody whether they want it or not.
I renewed my driver's license last night on the California DMV website, and it said your voting is all mail-in. There's no choice. That's just how it is. You know, they send you a ballot in the mail. And they ask you if you want to register to vote before they ask you if you're a citizen. They do end up asking you if you're a citizen and all that, but they do ask you if you want to register to vote first, which I found curious. I'm not making any accusations. That's not the way I would have designed it.
I wonder why. Oh.
I would have asked people if they were a citizen. If they said no, I'd say then you can't have a fucking driver's license or vote.
Yeah, the screen should just go blank if you
Right.
didn't know.
No, if you say no, there should be a knock at the door if you're not a citizen.
Yeah.
Papers, please. Papers.
And you fucking turn off the light, lay on the floor, and tell your family to be quiet. It should be stressful. To be an illegal should be stressful.
There's not going to be a water main break. There's not going to be a water main break at my house at 3 a.m. There's not.
No, you're not going to only allow certain people to count the votes and not the other.
Fine. Fine. Have it your way. I'll end the poll. You win again. How dare you? How dare you? My own show. Betrayed. If I find out my wife voted for that fucking Western bacon cheeseburger on my own channel, I'm just saying, guys.
She's a good woman. She did, because that's what she believes. She voted with her stomach.
Look at that.
Out of fear of retribution.
Even cheating with dishonest Biden votes, I didn't win.
What does that tell you, Gabe? Don't fucking cheat, or cheat better next time.
Right. I got to cheat better with the Big Mac. The Big Mac, guys, just by the way, you're all wrong. The Big Mac is greater than the Western bacon cheeseburger.
No, it's not.
People have spoken. I have spoken.
The people have spoken.
All right.
And you better listen.
I want to bring Marsden in here, and I bet he'll be on the Big Mac side, just like he was on the chunky peanut butter side with me.
I wonder if he grew up having Burger King, because that's where it's from, right?
It is English, isn't it? I think so.
I don't know if it still is, but it definitely started that way.
I wish it had like a big bucktooth caricature of Prince Charles on it or something.
Isn't it? That was their slogan, isn't it?
You want a burger and fries?
Oh, fuck, damn.
They're called chips, not fries.
And it was like a close-up on his mouth.
Would you like chips with that?
Would you like a Big Mac, sir? No. Going to Carl's Jr.
Mr. Reese, I had Soros funding for the vote. We still couldn't get it done.
Son of a bitch. So the people still do have the power. All right. That's good to know.
Power to the people.
That's good to know.
Hey, listen, I will eat a Western bacon cheeseburger. Now, let me tell you a disgusting story about that exact burger and why my brother, who that is his favorite burger, will no longer eat them. Like 15 years ago, he went to Carl's Jr. He ordered the double Western bacon cheeseburger, which is a phenomenal hamburger, second best to the Big Mac.
Nope, not according to the people.
And when he bit into it, there was a delightful crunch of the onion ring, and there was a not so delightful crunch. And he opened the burger. What do you think was in there? What other things crunch that are not delightful? Because it won't be what you think.
Fingernails.
Okay, because I would say
maybe an overcooked onion ring.
Nah, that's no big deal though, right? Overcooked onion ring. I can't believe it. I would have guessed like cockroach or something, right? Bugs are crunchy, right? At least I'm told. But you got it right, and I didn't think you went fingernails. He said there were a few fingernails in it. That's
somebody did that on purpose.
If there's one, that's a fuck up.
But how does your fingernail come off? Like your fingernails don't fall off. Were you a fucking leper working at Carl's Jr.? Your fingernails don't fall off. Somebody chewed that shit off.
Fingernails in the burger, and he didn't do anything about it. He just threw it away and like went home.
No. We'd have a powwow at the front.
We'd have big trouble. Right.
Yeah. In Little China. But tell him it's been 15 years. Time to come back. Tell him come back. Tell him that story. Maybe they'll comp him like they did.
I can't even tell my wife that story, and she retches. Are you that way? If you hear something gross, you go, because I don't. I can hear anything; it doesn't bother.
I love it when people do. Shit is so funny when people dry heave, but no, I can hear whatever.
Yeah. So obviously, when I know my wife will dry heave from a story, I go ahead and keep telling the story because that's hilarious to me. Stop! It's so gross. It's like, all right, it's just a story, though.
Girls, haven't you learned? If you show that we gross you out, that's just gonna make us do it more.
What will make you retro? I think the only I can see gross things and I can hear them. Smell is what will do it for me, though. You know.
Yeah, maybe smell because I can see whatever, but smells can be pretty rancid.
I told you this before, but it's one of the grossest things that ever happened to me. I was at my dad's house. I was in college, so my kids were, 6 and 4 or 5 and 7, and my little brother, he must have been, 9 or 8, and he ate a big plate of green pork chili cheese French fries at a restaurant.
Sounds good.
They're delicious. It's a family-owned restaurant in Greeley, Colorado called Alberto's. Very delicious. He ate too many and threw them up all over my dad's tile kitchen floor. The smell of cheese and vomit and pork and green chili wafted through the house. Just unbelievable stench. And he couldn't have been 9. He was probably older than that. He was probably middle school age because he was old enough where I'm like, you got to clean that up. But he was freaking out and crying and so upset about how gross it was. He refused to clean it for like half an hour. And as the adult, it's like, well, I could grab his hands and like try and make him do it. But like, what? Come on. This is vomit. This is horrible. It's stinking up the whole house. I go into the bathroom. I get toothpaste, put it on my finger, and then shove mint toothpaste up my nose as far as I can. And then I went and cleaned it.
It's not a cadaver.
Dude, it was awful. I think it was the dairy and the stomach acid had done some evil magic, or the stank was off the charts, dude.
But if you're gonna puke, let it be on a hard surface like that.
It was a hard.
So at least it's easy to clean up. You know, that's a saving
I got
grace.
a worse one though for you. My dog Speedy, rest in peace, is a basset hound. He had papers like American Kennel Club. He was like a purebred, beautiful black basset hound. My daughter got him from a classmate in 1st or 2nd grade because the parents bred dogs and were getting divorced, so they gave dogs away. So we got this like multi-$1,000 dog for free. It was a great dog. And it was snowing. I lived in Colorado. It was snowing bad. And I let him in the house and I went somewhere, but he was not good in the house if you weren't there. You had to be home with him or he'd get into all kinds of trouble. So I put him on a leash in this one sort of bedroom. It was a half bedroom, half not a bedroom room. I put him on like his leash, like a 4-foot leash there. I come home. He had liquid diarrhea into the carpet. This is shag 70s carpet in my grandparents' house where I lived when I was in college. They had passed away, so I lived there. Into the shag rust-colored carpet, liquid fucking Hershey syrup diarrhea. And because he was on a leash, he proceeded to stomp and stand in it, splattering it all over himself and the walls.
Oh, man.
I come home, and there's just this poop explosion all over this room. I see it. I turn around. I drive to the grocery store. I buy giant yellow gloves. I buy like a ton of like spray cleaner, and I buy rolls and rolls and rolls of paper towels. And I come home and spray and wipe and spray and wipe, and I fill like a trash bag until I clean. I was furious, but at who? I mean, the guy got sick. It wasn't his fault.
Nah, dude, we're gonna go outside and old yeller that motherfucker for that.
Dude, he stomped around in his own poop probably for an hour while I was gone.
You're out of here, player. I'm sorry. We can't have this happening again.
And as an adult, you're like, I can't just leave this. Because as a kid, you're irresponsible. Like, I'll leave and mom will clean it. You're like, I'm a grown man. I get to clean this.
No, old yeller. That's all I have to say about that. Well, you know,
a little Christy gnome on his ass.
Yeah, you're out of here, buddy. Don't look at me. But yeah, the lady I saw in the airport who sucked her son's snot out of his nose and her mouth, spit in the trash can. That was pretty bad.
Right. MJ1 Media. I understand some things about Rambo 3 might not hold up today, but it still has some of his most iconic shots. It does. Him pressing his back against the wall at night, his "your worst nightmare" quote. Yeah. Yeah, it is one of the most Rambo of all the Rambo movies. You know, it is very, very like Rambo in hyperdrive, you know. So in good and bad ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure.
Right. So okay, so he's sneaking in. Hamid was not supposed to go all the way in with him. That is
shit.
What are you doing following me in here? I told you not to do that.
Now we can't focus on the mission. Now he has to watch out for this fucking kid too.
Right. Of course, Zazen is torturing Troutman again. Tell me about the Stinger missiles and the Americans and the blah, blah, blah. So we're repeating some of the themes here, but the tension and the trouble is escalating. And the bombs are going off soon. He finds out it isn't just some GIs in Troutman. There's also just women there who I'm sure you don't have to use your imagination how they were probably treated in the prison of Russian soldiers. We don't even want to go there.
Service. Yeah.
Right. So then this guy is just a failure, dude. You're the prison Russian guard and you're fucking sleeping, dude.
That's
really?
The worst. When you're on watch, that's one of the worst things you can do in the military. That's something that you can do where even your buddies, even your homies are going to shit on you and lose respect for you if you fall asleep on watch.
Insane. There are 24 fucking hours in the day, and this is the hour you choose to sleep. Really? Wow.
When Rambo's creeping around the fucking base, that's when you want to catch some fucking Z's, you jerk.
Yeah, sweet dreams there, Ivan.
Yeah, forever. Yeah. You're about to die.
Right. So he takes the keys and he finds Troutman in the prison.
There you are, you little fucker.
Right. But then, Hamid is following him around, not supposed to be following him around, blows the cover, and Hamid almost gets killed. He throws the knife, and it's kind of a fake out, like, is he going to throw the knife at Hamid?
Yeah, told you to fucking stay outside.
Right. But he throws a knife at a guy that was behind Hamid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Classic.
Now, what kind of, I'm not a big knife thrower. It's not a thing I do. I know I see axe throwing downtown. I don't know who goes to this. It doesn't seem that interesting to me. How hard do you have to throw a fucking knife to kill someone, dude?
Well, I mean, it depends on where you hit him. If you hit him, in a soft area, the eye, the neck, or something like that, yeah. But I mean, if you're going to throw it into their chest or something, yeah, you got to throw it pretty fucking hard, especially from that distance, too.
Right.
It wasn't like up close. He's like fucking 30 feet away.
Right.
But yes, from that distance, you got to hit him somewhere soft, like in the neck or the eye. And you could take him out easily if you hit him in a soft enough place.
Yeah, Hamid really was the one thing wrong with this. MJ1 Media says the kid may have meant well, but all he did was make things worse. Yeah, I think it's not bad writing, but it could have been better with Hamid. As a writer myself, it's a little clunky to put that kid in there because I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to give it heart. You're trying to give it high stakes. Nobody wants a kid or a dog or any innocent like that to get hurt or killed. So I see what they're trying to do. It mostly works. I think Hamid screwing things up makes sense. Because if the kid was a badass like Rambo and was killing all kinds of people, you'd be like, what? So I guess it does make sense that the kid is ineffective and causes trouble. So,
but I think they could have left that relationship at the village. It may be in that strafing with the helicopters. Maybe Hamid fucking, took a bullet, or some debris hit him or something. He's like got conked on the head or some shit like that. But yeah, bringing him into the base and the battle, it was a distraction. Rambo had to save his ass, had to make sure that he got out of there and shit. So, yeah, I think they went about that the wrong way.
Right. So right before he's going to, take the keys and go save all these prisoners, Hamid has his run-in with the guy. He kills him with the knife. And, so they got to get out. They can't save all these prisoners right now because their cover's blown. And those bombs he set, they were set to go off at the right time. They're going off at the right time, but he has no more time to free the prisoners. So they got to skedaddle. They got to get the hell out of here. So now he has
Sorry, ladies.
Yeah. One more night in the gulag, ladies.
I'll get you tomorrow. I swear. I'll be back tomorrow.
Right. So he has to get out, and their escape route, and they're being, chased all over the base by the alarms are going off, and the searchlights, and the dogs, and everything. And they escape down into the tunnels. Right? There's like a waterway or something like that. There's like a little watery tunnel, and he takes a piece of shrapnel in the fucking hip, right above the hip, right in the meat above the hip. So
flank.
And Hamid does not die, but he goes to sleep. He gets conked in the head or whatever from the blast.
He's been conked.
Yeah, he's sleepy time. So he shoots his way out, saves Hamid. They get underground. They get with Mossad. They get on the horse and they get away. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and big text here. Yeah, flipping over this flaming vehicle to try and block the way, but they're able to escape. Then you get the great scene. One of the most legendary Rambo scenes of all time. So that's the thing MJ1 Media was saying about some of the iconic shots in this, of him pushing that piece of shrapnel out with his thumb, then putting some gunpowder in the wound and lighting it on fire to cleanse the wound. That I think Weird Al Yankovic or someone parodied this, right? This has been like copied in other media.
Hot Shots.
Oh, Hot Shots. That's right. And I don't know the veracity of the medical legitimacy of doing this, but it's a badass scene, Mr.
Yeah, it's to cauterize it. He's cauterizing the wound.
Yeah, I don't know how legit something like this is. I have my doubts. It's pretty dubious, but that's not why we're here. We're here for the mayhem, So
suspension of disbelief.
Yeah. I will say this, though. That special effect of Rambo cauterizing the wound was so painful yet so bad. It was.
Yeah.
That's the thing about men. My son was telling me about some report. He said something he read where like the average man overestimates his fighting ability by like 400% or some. I don't even know how you would measure that. But every one of us, to a man, everyone who can hear my voice right now, no matter who I told you were fighting, you think, well, it may be 18-year-old Mike Tyson, but it's always that but.
If I can catch him with a good one. Right. Yeah, we think about some wild shit.
Yeah.
we've all killed. We're all mass murderers in our minds.
Right.
We've all killed people in our head.
Yeah.
We've all beat the shit out of people in our heads. Yeah, we're pretty badass.
Right. That is fun. I think, but that's the only way you could be, right? You can't be any other way in your head. You can't be walking around thinking you're a failure and going to get destroyed, you know?
You're getting beat up in your fucking fantasies.
In your own imagination, you lose.
You're a loser in your own imagination that you control 100%. Yeah, that
imagine somebody in their imagination, they're striking out with ladies, they're broke, and they're getting beat up all the time.
Yeah, getting their ass kicked. He just takes your girl in his left arm and punches you with his right.
Right. He kicks sand in your face at the beach and then takes your girl.
And you can't do anything.
No, these big bullies.
In your own fantasy? Holy shit. That's bad. That is bad. Remove yourself from the gene pool, please. No babies for you.
By the way, that iconic red headband that Rambo wears, is it simply called the Rambo headband, or is it a specific kind of headband? I think it's just a torn piece of cloth, right? That's all mine.
Yeah, he tore it off his dead girl's dress in the second one before he buried her.
Right. I forgot about that. And if you and here's again, guys, if you go to bigmancomics.com, you can still order one of the last remaining copies of Dean Cain All-American Lawman, because in that book we have this. We have the red headband. I'll show you real quick. Open with preview. We have the gear up scene at the Mexican grandpa and his son's house.
Yeah,
just like Rambo, he's putting the knife in the holster, putting poison on the arrow, putting the black eye black, and then on the next page, you know, he's talking to the kid about being brave, and he's going to go take on the bad guys in the final scene. And this should remind you of something. You know what I mean? I literally, when I wrote the script, I put a YouTube link in it to the gear up scene from Rambo 2 and sent it to the illustrator. I was like, well, this is what we're going for here. We're going for that classic 80s gear up scene where the hero is getting all his gear. So yes, we want that red headband. Ours is a dark red headband, but yes, we want the red headband. It's iconic.
Yeah, that's from his lady's dress. The only romantic interest in any of the Rambo movies.
Right. That's part of her dress. I forgot about that. MJ1, my wife had a piece of cloth and she just cut that for me. I asked her to do it for me, and she did that. So it was. I had another one too, but it got old from having it for like the first year and a half of this show.
You kind of got your headband the same way he did,
right?
From
my
your
wife.
lady.
Only she lived. She's fine. She didn't get killed.
She wasn't buried in a pile of mud, and
she didn't get killed by the VCs.
She's in the house. She's in the house right now. She's in the house right now voting for a double Western bacon cheeseburger.
Can you believe that? In my own home.
Yeah.
Well, I just paid her mortgage yesterday.
It's always the one closest to you, man.
You know? I'm not going to say it's a betrayal, but I was shocked, you know?
To your core.
So Zazen flying around the fucking helicopter.
Again.
And guess who climbed a vertical rock wall, like 500-yard wall?
Wearing black against a beige background.
Right.
Nobody saw him. Everybody's flying around in helicopters. Nobody saw him.
I think what resonates with me that's so important to me about these kind of stories is they take all this fun and silliness. The over-the-top action is silly, but in a good way. And what they're telling you, like, this is iconic to me here, the hands with the blood. Like, what does that say about climbing a rock wall from the underground, like, cavern with some water in it to go back to the Russian Gulag base, and his hands are bleeding by the time he gets to the top? What does that say about determination in life and never giving up? So you can get these heavy, important lessons, but there's so much sugar to help the medicine go down. The fun of the action and the insanity of cauterizing your own wound with gunpowder. That's the crazy fun to make these important lessons, I don't know, to get them out there for people so you can believe that you can achieve. But yeah, he's one man taking on this base. Sorry, go ahead.
The shirtless Rambo is back.
Right.
Ladies don't seem to mind.
No, not at all.
Right.
You did all that work. Show it off.
Right. It ain't bragging if it's true.
That's right.
You know. So yeah. So he reinfiltrates the base. He's back for Troutman and the ladies and the other prisoners. This is a great kill here. Troutman's being tortured by this guy with a flamethrower and stuff. This fat guy, and he stabs this guy and then like bashes him in the back of the head. There's a great blood splatter on that one too. It's insane. So
fuck that dude.
Yeah, that guy's laughing. He's blowing the torch like
yeah, he's
laughing about it, and then he's not laughing so hard anymore.
And if this fucking 12-inch knife in your spine doesn't do it, let me go ahead and bash your cranium in from the back. That ought to do it.
Right. And MJ1 says, good wife, man. Cherish that woman. I try.
Yeah.
I got the best. I got the belle of the ball. So then Troutman and Rambo together again. They're escaping
back again.
And they grab some of the hostages too, and they steal one of these surplus helicopters that the Ruskies have.
Mm-hmm. More helicopters. If you guys are into helicopter porn, fucking enjoy yourself. I love when the blood gets splattered on the camera lens.
Right. These dudes just get shredded by whatever the cannon would be on this helicopter.
These dudes would not, there would be nothing left.
What would that thing be hanging, that thing dangling on the front?
That's definitely a minigun. That's
so
probably.
What kind of rounds come out of this thing?
I mean, probably like 25 millimeter or something like that.
Wow.
Maybe even like 7.62, but it's
how big is that in real life? What would you compare that to? Like a little baby carrot, or what would you compare it to?
Yeah, 25 millimeter. That's like, I don't know. Take your longest finger and add about another 50% onto it. Like 25 millimeters, a decent fucking.
Jumping over to image search.
Those are 20.
This says 25 or 20. This says 25. Those are fucking.
So maybe not that. Yeah, I'd say probably like that.
Wow.
But you even have some like the General Electric minigun, like the one Jesse the Body had.
Yeah.
And Predator, that's like, I think that takes like 7.62. But it's all about the rate of fire, because that's a pretty small minigun.
Right.
You know, like the Vulcan cannon, like on an A10.
Right.
That's what that thing is shooting. That's shooting fucking, humongous
rounds. It's a thing of beauty when it goes.
But that's like almost the length of the plane. That thing's huge.
Right.
That little thing right there is probably, I'd say, shooting like 7.62 or something. But at that rate of fire, those dudes, it would be like from their kneecap down would be left. Everything else would just be completely shredded.
Right. Well, as you know, the A-10 is one of our favorite aircraft around these parts. So much so that, again, we're going to go back to this again. It is in Dean Cain All-American Lawman Volume 1, where he's hiding in the hangar from the bad guys. They're trying to get him to come out or he'll die. They don't know he's got inside of the A-10. And he shows it to him. He shows him that Vulcan cannon. And then makes his getaway. I love this aircraft. It's fantastic. When it does that Vulcan cannon, that sound, just that buzz it does, and
like if you left your phone on vibrate on a coffee table, bzz, bzz. But yeah, the M134, the General Electric one, that takes 7.62. So yeah, that's probably 7.62, but shooting fucking hundreds of rounds a second. It's right.
Insane.
It's over, guys.
So yeah, they just toast these guys. They make their way out, but they do get shot down. The helicopter shot down. He tells these prisoner women and dudes, like, okay, you go that way, we'll go this way. So they, just to get them out of the movie, like, okay, you go over there. We're not going to be having you with us the rest of the third act. And he does destroy the helicopter. The helicopter's destroyed. It blows up. And then Zazen and company are coming after him in more helicopters. Should this movie be called Rambo 3, or should they change the star of this movie to Russian Helicopters?
Helicopters Part 3.
Right. Helicopters Part 3, starring Rambo.
Yeah, the Vulcan. So the Vulcan cannon shoots 20 millimeter rounds at 6,000 rounds per minute.
Jeez.
Ouch.
What does a 20 millimeter round look like? I mean, we saw
huge.
So it's a little bit smaller than the 25, but not much. That's still like a carrot. So the A-10 Thunderbolt has a gun with a rate of fire of 6,000 per minute of this?
6,000 per minute.
Now, I don't think it has 6,000 rounds on board, but that's still how fast it shoots.
Yeah, they do. They have thousands of rounds on board.
Really?
Hell yeah.
I had no idea. I have no idea how much they can hold. Let's see. 100
rounds a second coming out there. It's over.
How many rounds does an A-10 Thunderbolt carry? It says, no, I knew it didn't, because I looked in this. It said 1,174 rounds. Yeah.
So they're just doing like
just a couple sprays, and then they got to use bombs and missiles and stuff, I guess. Because when you think about the size of a carrot times 6,000 just for a minute, that would where would you even put all that shit? You know?
And what do they call them? The AC-130s, the attack C-130s, the spookies, the ones that have like the fucking minigun, howitzer, and like a Bushmaster all on one side. And they just orbit and fuck shit up. They carry a lot too.
That was like 15 years ago. I think it was like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. There was a level in that game where you were in the AC-130, and that was the whole level. And it was that black and white, like thermal vision. Mm-hmm. And you were just shooting one of 3 weapons, like this big ordnance that would blow up, or you had a machine gun, but it was like, firing soda can sized bullets at people. Mm-hmm. And then there was another like firing rockets or something. And it was so much fun. And there was a ground crew of like, I don't know, Army Rangers or whatever, infiltrating on foot, and they had these flashers. So it means like, don't shoot the guys that are flashing, and then you'd see the other guys from a half mile away coming to get your guys. So you'd shoot at them, and it was so much fun. I remember that was like 15, maybe longer, years ago, like Call of Duty 2, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, those things are, those spookies, they call them. Those things are fucking, they started using them in Vietnam. But yeah, they have an actual howitzer, like a tank fucking round on there. The howitzer, a Bushmaster, and a minigun. The Bushmaster is like, what does a Bushmaster shoot? Like pretty big, pretty serious rounds, but it's like in between somewhere. They're not small, like, bullets or something. But Bushmaster, they big. So 25 millimeter. So yeah.
They're so the carrot gun. So they have 105 millimeter. Oh, I found it. 105 millimeter howitzer. I'll put it over here so everyone can see. I found a PDF.
And that's like the shells on those are like from the ground to your calf.
Right.
Like big. I used to have one that held my door open to my bedroom. Those things are fucking huge.
So they got the 105 millimeter howitzer firing basically lower leg. They got the 7.62 miniguns. They got what else? 40 millimeter Bofors gun, Bofors. I don't know. Vulcan gunners. Twin 20 millimeter Vulcan rotary cannons, 7,200 rounds a fucking minute, dude.
Ouch.
And this thing is so big, it carries just thousands and thousands of rounds.
Yeah, it's a cargo plane, basically.
This carries up to 10 tons of ammunition.
Yeah, it's a weaponized cargo ship. They carry tanks and shit. So yeah, they probably got pallets of fucking ammunition on that thing.
It's just not even fair, this thing.
You should look up the 40 millimeter ammunition. They're like a shotgun shell on fucking steroids.
Let's see.
And it has like these big old fucking lead balls inside of them. But those things, yeah, they just fly around in a circle and they just do. And so the Bushmaster, the 20 millimeter, it's not like a Gatling gun. So it shoots like boom, 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 like that. So it can still like wreck. And there's no vehicle man-made that can withstand that. It's over.
No,
if they find you, everybody in that vehicle is going to the upper room.
Right. They're going to that big Pastamania in the sky, brother.
I try not to talk about it, brother. Poor guy.
Jeez.
Yeah, man. It's like these things are, and of course there's different kinds of rounds. You want incendiary, penetration, fucking. You want them to like blow up and those. There's not too many of those. Or do you want it to like explode and send little, speeding lead balls in all directions and just Swiss cheese the bad guy?
Yeah, it's interesting. I live here in San Diego. That's the home of the Navy and all that, like on the West Coast at least. And people don't know, I mean, it's not a secret or anything, but so much of the military industrial complex is here in San Diego. We have more military population than anywhere, I think, on Earth, percentage-wise. And when you drive through like Kearny Mesa and just like east of like central San Diego, there's General Dynamics, there's Raytheon, there's all those huge weapon manufacturers have tons of like research centers and development centers out there. So all these fantastical ways to kill other human beings are being developed right here, sunny San Diego. So,
isn't that nice?
Yeah. So I remember going over to Cubic. My stepdad worked there when I was a senior in high school, and he was an engineer, and they were going to Germany. This is 1996 for some software for some stuff he was working on for, I don't know, Army stuff. They were going to use infield and all that, and it all sounded high tech. And this is almost 30 years ago. It's crazy. So,
yep. I remember seeing this. Can't remember. It was on History Channel, but they developed a bomb during the Gulf War or whatever, the second one, or the Afghanistan War. Excuse me. Because these guys were going in the caves, and like it was pretty much, like home base. If you're playing tag, like they couldn't touch them because they go in there. So they developed a bomb that would go in there and explode, and it would suck the oxygen out. So even if the explosion didn't get you, you'd fucking suffocate.
Like, aren't those called like a thermobaric, right?
Thermobaric.
Right.
Yeah, and the lady who was explaining it, she was like this nice Asian lady in a white coat.
I saw that. She came from Vietnam and said we needed weapons to go into caves to save the soldiers from having to go into caves. I saw that whole thing about 4 years ago on Twitter. Yeah. I read about it.
And so, if the pressure from that didn't make your head explode, all the oxygen would come out and you fucking suffocate. The Moab, the mother of all bombs, that's right under a nuke.
Isn't the Moab about the size of a telephone pole or something like that? It's
huge. It's like the size of a car or some shit. They drop it out of a C-130. And remember the shock and awe of George Bush when it wasn't even like he was talking it up like it was going to be fucking crazy. It wasn't that crazy. But yeah, they dropped the Moab, those big yellow fucking bombs, and they do some pretty bad.
Right. Oh, here it is.
Yeah, the thermobaric pressure munitions or whatever it's called. That shit was crazy. And she was like this nice lady,
of all bombs.
Yeah, Moab.
That's your big boy. Yeah.
They drop it like out of a pallet. It's like on a fucking pallet, and they drop it out of the sea. Look how big it is. Like you can't put that on a plane. There's no that thing wouldn't even get off the ground.
Wow.
They drop that motherfucker, boom. It's over. Everybody on the ground, you about to have a bad day.
Let's see.
And if you hear the whistle, it's too late.
The GBU-43 Moab. Just two dudes in a Moab hanging out.
Dude, look how this thing's giant. And if you hear it's too late. Remember the hot shots where Saddam was sitting by the pool drinking a drink and they dropped the bomb in his fucking lap and he spit his drink out?
I've never seen Hot Shots. Never seen
Hot Shot. It's like Naked Gun or Airplane.
Right. It's like, isn't it like Charlie Sheen, but it's all like action movie parodies or something?
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. Yeah. But Saddam was sitting like drinking a drink out of a coconut shell and the bomb like dropped in his lap and he spit it out. It was on the previews that they show on TV. Back when our enemies were reflected in our movies.
Right. Now the enemy in the movie is like the white American male who loves America.
Patriarchy. Like that movie Civil War. Stupid.
I can't believe people paid to go see that. That confuses me.
Stupid white people. Actually not white, but it's not the white women, it's the white men. You cisgender, straight, white men are the most dangerous people on earth.
Hot Shots is a must. Maybe we'll check it out.
Yeah. Even the second one, Part 2. That was funny. Yeah. No, Hot Shots is hilarious, man.
So anyway, where were we? So him and Troutman, they steal the helicopter. They save some of the prisoners. They blow it up. The Ruskies are in hot pursuit we had someone tell us here very kindly, the 24 Hind. It's the 24 Hind. I'm not sure how it's pronounced because it's a Russian vehicle, but that is the Russian attack.
Yeah, the ones that are just fucking loaded.
So here we're back to that mountaintop where they're kind of staking things out, and there was that cave, remember? And the opening was on the top. So you got to go down in it, and then there's a cave network in there. So they're going to do a little bit of hiding in there. But first... Now, didn't he use the exploding arrow to kill the guy in Rambo 2, remember?
Part 2, the one who shot his girl.
Right.
So they were talking to each other, and he shot her in the back. And then, he screwed on the tip, and the guy's like running away, and he turns around and shoots his sidearm at him, and he misses him.
Nobody gives my baby back shots but me.
Boom! Yeah, just turn him into a fucking smoothie. He fucked him up.
Right. I like this guy's face here, too.
Fuck.
This was the guy who was doing all the torturing, and he doesn't have to go home to his wife.
Yeah,
so this is actually a look of elation.
That's happiness.
He would rather die. He would rather die and go to hell than go back home with Helga.
He's yelling, "Thank you." to Rambo. Thank you.
He's like giving him the Predator. I'm here. I'm right here.
I'm here. Kill me. Come on, I'm here. Kill me. He's like, I don't want to go back to my house with my wife. Hey, he did that guy a favor.
Poor Ivan. He served
not Russians. Really.
He served Mother Russia well.
Not really. Not poor Ivan. Ivan is like, yeah.
I just realized in Mother Russia they don't have Hulk Hogan's Pastamania, but they have like Ivan Hogan and Ivan Hoginsky or something. It's a Russian name.
Yeah.
And he has a Stroganoff mania. You know.
Yeah,
and
that's like 100 different types of stroganoff.
There's 100 different types of stroganoff, and they have borscht on the menu too. The beet soup with sour cream.
It's not real restaurant unless you have borscht, which sounds like shit.
Borscht, vodka, and stroganoff.
You can tell how poor a country was at one point by its cuisine. And fucking beet soup. No, thank you.
Doesn't sound great.
Doesn't. A nice hot bowl of beet soup.
Is it hot or cold borscht?
It's got to be hot. It's cold as it is in Russia.
I'm thinking of gazpacho, the horrible tomato,
which is salsa. Soup. That's not soup. That's salsa.
That's true.
That's what it's a fucking salsa. That's all. It's the same ingredients.
Well, either way, Ivan thanked Rambo for giving him his bitch wife and sent him to the big stroganoff in the sky.
They see you in hell, woman. Fucking poor Ivan.
Not if I see you first, bastard.
Dude, as soon as he gets to hell.
Where have you been?
You're late. You are probably drinking with your friends again.
Fuck. Is there such thing as reincarnation? Take me back.
So they're hiding in that hilltop cave thing with the opening on the top, which I just love. And the soldiers are coming down. So they're coming out of a not this helicopter. They're coming out of other helicopters to go into the cave and look. And I don't have a photo of it, but they tie one of their ropes around a very, 1,000-pound boulder so they can come down. Because it's like a 50-foot drop to go into this cave or something like. It's a multi-story drop to get into the cave. You'd break your damn legs if you just went in the hole. So their rope is tied to a boulder. Remember that. You'll need to know that later. Mm-hmm. So they go in. They got the night vision. They're looking for Rambo and Troutman in there. And it's awesome. And look at, by the way, again, as an artist, as a colorist, as a painter myself, I love this color combo. How many times have we talked about this? The cool in the front and the warm in the back. It's no mistake that I did that here. You have your red background and you get your cool foreground. It really helps the image pop. You know what I mean? You want to do things like this because the human eye does not see color in an absolute value. Like a camera and a computer measures color on the absolute wavelength. We see color relative. So how bright or dark something is and what the other colors are around a color define it. So that's why tricks like this, they're not tricks. These are the principles of optics for the human brain. It's sorry, this is very nerdy of me, but I love stuff like this. This is a long way of saying I love stuff like this. I think it's fantastic. So
and
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, when I was a young lad, a senior in high school, a DC Comics artist, Scott Clark, he worked for Marvel and DC. I would go to his house because he lived 3 doors down from me. I found that out when I was a senior in high school. And I remember he gave me so much drawing advice. He drew a bunch of stuff for me. I still have it to this day of here's how you draw this muscle or lay this out. And he was a really nice guy. He passed away a few years ago in a car accident. Poor guy. God rest him. But I remember one thing he told me was watch a lot of movies. It's really going to help you with layout and lighting design. And when you're trying to draw comics and stuff like that, the guys that do the director of photography and the lighting in movies, they're masters of this stuff. And it really helps with illustration. So that's all I was going to say about it. Movies, if you want to learn to draw, for all you out there that message me and talk to me, how do I get into comics? How do I make comics? Practice. That's like a not unsatisfying answer. But if you want to learn about composition and lighting, movies are your best resource. They really are. So go ahead.
He fell because he was running because they were going to drop that bomb. And he is running and he jumps in the hole with the rope and he falls. And then the bomb, boom, blows up. All the big fireball goes in there. And then that's when those guys follow him. They get, they fast rope in there and start hunting for him. But then they realize, oh shit, we're being
I love this shot I got here. This dude just in a puff of red, this guy.
Yeah, it's a wrap. Again, you're falling into his hands. You're chasing Rambo into a hole. That's not good.
Yeah. Let's see. Spider Ghost. Yo, Gabe, I have a comic question. I just picked up Amazing Spider-Man 527 variant edition. One of my homies says I bought a second printing, but it doesn't say that at all. Usually, you can go online to check it out if you are confused. I'd have to see it, but in the indicia is the inside of a comic book. It's right here, like on mine. Okay, let me make this bigger. I'll show you where you need to look. This is pretty universal. If you look inside a comic, let me turn off the green screen because you're never going to be able to see what it's on. I'll help you out here. It's basically the credits and all that. None. Okay. If you look inside, right here, there'll be all the publishing notes and all that. Published 2024 by Big Man Comics. It's 11 Entertainment. That 11 Entertainment is Dean's company. Big Man and Gabe LTV Illustration is mine. But you'll have all that stuff in there, and you'll notice mine say right here. Mine say first printing. So when I reprint these in the future, because I will, because there's more demand, they will say second printing. But I'll do everyone a favor, and I'll have different covers. We're going to have different art for the second printings and all that. You'll learn more about that later. But it should say somewhere in the book the month, the publisher, and it should say first printing, dude. So, and Marvel and DC, they're good about that. So look for it in the indicia of your book. It'll be there. Let's go back to Mazatlan. There we go, Mazatlan.
It'll be there.
It'll be there, hopefully. So that's where you want to look, buddy. So you'll know if you have a first or second printing. And usually the second printing, the cover will be different. Even if they use the same art, they might change the color on it somehow. I did that for DC Comics. They multiple times. There would be I'll try and find one. Jericho, can you riff on what's going on in the cave here? I want to find this example of a Superman cover. Can you riff on this for a little bit?
Oh, I'll riff so hard. So they follow Rambo into the cave, which is mistake number one, and they got their fancy little night vision. But that doesn't matter if you're getting shot in your chest. So they're just basically looking around and getting killed. He's taking them out one by one. All the while, I don't know what Troutman's doing. I don't know if he's cowering in a corner, pissing himself. But he takes the dudes out, and then Rambo ends up back topside, and then that's when he has his battle with the Russian ogre. And he dies in a pretty good way. Again, we mentioned earlier there's a cool kill in this cave. And so, yeah, they're fighting. The dude, grabs him by the neck and picks him up in the air. This dude's huge. Look at his arm. He's a fucking giant. And so him and Rambo are going at it. Rambo gets the upper hand after taking a little beating. Right there, he wraps the rope that he rappelled with around his neck, pushes him in the hole, and before he pushes him in there, he pulls the pin on one of the grenades. Right. And then when the guy falls in, boom, right when the rope tightens, kaboom, and the dude just fucking explodes.
Just like everywhere. A big exploding pinata. I couldn't find it, but there was a Superman cover that was just like a cape waving and some crystals on this icy place, and I colored it, and then the editor called me the next day and said, hey, could you change the cape from red to blue or whatever? I just altered the color in Photoshop, and they printed that as a second printing. So sometimes the second print will have the same art, but it'll be different. If I ever reuse Dean Cain artwork, these covers on a second printing, I would change the color. Her dress is blue, I'd just make it pink like that or something, just so collectors would know, hey, I got the first printing where the dress is blue, not pink or whatever. You can do things like that if you want to reuse the illustration. And I might do things like that on the second chance. You'll see. There'll be a second printing of these things in the future. You'll see. So, but yeah, this guy, this is why I love the cave. This is why I've been telling you guys at the cave with the top entrance. Ties around the dude's neck, pulls on his fucking grenades, and then throws him down the hole. Boom.
Yeah, midair. He's midair and just fucking up.
He's he's choking to death. The lights are going out in his mind. He's like, oh, how could this be any worse? And then he blows up a second later.
Yeah, just Russian dude everywhere.
Then he gets to hell and runs into Helga and Ivan, and they're just fighting.
You guys, even down here, you fight.
You have to make hell worse. Don't you think hell is bad enough? You have to be fighting.
Oh, is he the one you were drinking with up there?
With your whores.
He's no whore. Tell her, you're a guy. She thinks I'm cheating with women. There's nothing but men there, soldiers. We kill people. There's no ladies. Except for the Afghani women we keep in cages.
Women in cages?
I don't put them there. I work. I torture. I come home. I get tortured by you. I go back to work. I torture. I don't touch ladies. I can't even touch you. We don't have sex for 2 years.
Oh my God. So he goes to hell and she continues to torture him.
I torture him.
It's one of the only actual bears that is a fan of the channel that also knows how to use the internet. I don't know if you guys know that. So he says, love the cadence of Gabe and Jericho. Thank you. We try our best to improv here. Dude,
yes, thank you. Hope your wife doesn't beach like my wife does.
Keep the impressions coming. On Double Impact, impressions do you. I saw the most insane effing video today. I found out it was a year old. It's like 6 kids at the zoo, and they're looking at the bear enclosure, and the big glass window goes down into the water, and a non-zoo animal, a mother duck and her ducklings,
idiot,
they took a little trip to the zoo. And I'll just have to show you guys this so you can believe it.
How'd they get in there? Like the mother, I understand maybe she flew in there, but they were like little tiny ducklings.
I don't know. Hold on. Let me I just want to make sure there's nothing on this page. So here it is. The bear, the ducks, the zoo.
Yeah.
They're like, oh no, and there's all these little kids there, and I'll just jump forward.
Quick little snap too.
But the bear jumps in and like eats these ducks right in front of these kids. And that little girl there, she turns around and tells her mom, "That's not nice."
Like the little fluffy ducks, like they're
the little Easter peep ducks. Those little
tiny fluffy ducks. They don't have their little feathers yet, and the bear eats all.
Just the little guys to talk like that. It's the saddest thing. It's so bad. Okay, now the internet froze on that Twitter page, but dude, but you can hear the moms and dads talking, and they're like, "Oh no, don't turn around. Let's go." And the bear, he has one of the ducklings. He's all just like chewing it.
And he's such a giant bear that these are just little snacks for him, like little fruit snacks.
Right. But he jumps in the water, and all the ducks are like tossed by the water, and he just hunts them down and eats them.
You fucking just grab them. Where'd the mom go, you bitch? You let your kids just get eaten? Well, I don't know. She couldn't have done shit. She would have got eaten too.
Nah, what's she gonna fight a bear? So these two coming out looking like, even though Troutman ain't got the physique, they've been through some shit just now. These two are pretty badass,
Yeah, through swinging dicks.
So they're headed back. They've escaped. They freed some prisoners. But what do they see? An armored Russian battalion of assault vehicles, army tanks, foot soldiers, rocket launchers, mounted machine guns. And they're ordered to surrender. They're told they won't be killed if they surrender. But it's 1988, baby. And you've got a mane of hair like that. There's only one answer to this. You start shooting at these 200 Russian soldiers.
And a fucking 18-inch knife on your hip. You're not
right.
Fucking.
And then, of course,
for shit.
What did he call this? The hind, this thing?
Yeah, the 24.
The hind comes in.
Hind 24.
Right. Yeah, MJ1 Media says the best line ever. Fuck them.
Yeah, man.
Yo, fuck
what are you gonna do?
Right. Yeah, so they take on. What do you say, John? Fuck them. Right. Yeah. So they take on an entire Russian battalion.
Yeah.
And it's
200.
But this is the part of the movie that obviously this is ridiculous. Like obviously 2 guys will get smoked in 1 second. But that's what makes the message of the movie fun, to never give up, no matter how bad the odds. It's not real, it's fantasy. So just enjoy it for what it is. And at the last second when they're going to be demolished, I don't have a shot of it, but they're taking cover in a trench. So that is kind of helping them hide from some of the ordnance. The Afghanis come in on horseback, and then he's running.
Hundreds of them.
Yeah, what is that weapon there? Is that an AK or something? It's an AK with a grenade launcher. That's what it is.
Yeah, which I don't think is even a real thing. But
I can't get over his oblique muscles. That's the muscles on the side next to his abs. How thin his skin is there. It's insane.
Shredded up.
Right. So you have Afghanis on horseback. You have the Russian battalion, the armored battalion with tanks and like other vehicles and stuff, and then a freaking Hind attack helicopter, just wasting people. He jumps in the back of, is this a Chevy? I don't know. It's not a Toyota.
Like a fucking 78 Chevy.
Right. And he let loose. What do you think this gun is? We're talking about 25, and what do you think this is?
That's the same. No, it's not quite a 25. It's probably like a 50 cal or something like that.
Right.
Somewhere around there.
And yeah, so some of the footage, some of the shots of it. This is a glorious shot here.
Or hold on a second. Let me double check something.
So yeah, so while Jericho's saying that, he's able to get on. He takes some people out. He's able to get on horseback with basically a Molotov cocktail in his hand. Runs up on a tank and he's able to commandeer a tank, kill the dudes, and take over the tank by himself and get inside and start driving the tank to fend off the attack helicopter. This is such an epic ending to this movie. I got to stick up for Rambo 3. I'm loving this movie. And yeah, he's staring right down the thing. Colonel Zazin is staring at him, and they're flying the helicopter at the tank. They're coming face to face. They're gonna who's gonna be the last man standing? They're shooting at each other, and they end up crashing and blowing up the helicopter. The tank mostly survives the explosion. The battle is won from this epic defeat of the commander. I guess it demoralizes the Russian troops. The Afghanis get the upper hand. But is Rambo dead? Is he dead inside that big metal coffin of a tank?
Of course not. You know what? If you can look up a 35 millimeter,
all right.
There's a picture of a guy holding it in his hand, and it really puts it into perspective.
Okay. 35 millimeter ammo.
Yeah, if you just go down a little bit.
Get out of here. What in the hell would fire this?
Holding it in his
what kind of gun? That gun on the back of the truck didn't fire these.
No, that's why I'm gonna look it up. I think I'm misspeaking, because if he shot one round out of that, it would throw him through that.
It would launch the truck in the wrong direction.
So look at that fucking thing. There's one of a guy holding one in his hand, and it's fucking giant. But you can see there too. Those things are huge.
Plain and simple truth. Our only Ursine fan, that means bear. He's an actual bear that learned to type in English and has an internet connection. He has Starlink. He has Elon Musk Starlink out in the Yellowstone Park there. Thank you for tuning in, plain and simple. Thanks for keeping the kid alive in us all. Gabe, we truly appreciate your attention to detail and the coaching about scenes and lighting. JG, keep telling the story line. P.S. Love the gun breakdown. Yeah. Well, I go to my military man, JG, and he's a big gun guy. He's been out to that shooter school in Pahrump. Thank you for the super chat. Sorry, I owe you one of these now. For the super chat. Whenever you give a super chat on this channel, will you throw that money on the stage, boys? We got the booty shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Shake your booty. All right, there you go. Thank you for sending that in, friend. But Jericho, you went out to Pahrump, Nevada, home of the salacious brothels. But you went to shooting school out there and avoided the brothels. Avoided the brothels at all costs while you went to the shooting school.
Zero whores for me. Zero. But it was great. Yeah, 4 days. Shot about 1,000 rounds of ammunition in those 4 days.
What was the biggest thing you shot at the shooting school?
Oh, I just shot. I brought my Glock 17. That's all it was. Just a pistol training course. But the biggest gun I've ever shot was 50 cal when I was in the Navy. And that, dude, it makes you feel like, I mean, well, it is true. There's nothing that could stop you. If you're behind a 50, there's no vehicle, maybe like a huge ship, giant cargo ship or something, but very few things that can stop a 50 caliber round. And especially when it's just boom, 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 boom. I mean, it's fucking crazy. Crazy.
Now, I'm sure the price has gone up because it's been a few years, but what did it cost to go to that shooting school in Pahrump? And would you recommend it? Would you recommend it?
I would definitely recommend it. I would definitely recommend it, no matter your skill level. I mean, if you're a fucking Navy SEAL, then maybe you don't need to go. But
because I think for guns, I'm just above novice. I got my guns like 4 years ago, and I've been to the range 10, 15 times in 4 years. That's about it. A couple times.
There were people there who bought guns for the first time they ever shot a gun was at that course.
And is it like because I don't want to be there 8 hours a day. Like, how long is this school every day? Like,
it's about 7:30 in the morning to 4:30.
Oh, it is like that. Well,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. But the group I was with, it was a construction company, so they brought a trailer that's like their barbecue pit. So every day lunch was fucking cherry, crazy ass shit. But yeah, it's an all day thing. You're out there early in the morning until the early afternoon, mid afternoon or whatever. But you're, like I said, 4 days, 1,000 rounds. You get about 250 rounds a day, and it's you pack a lot of training into that time.
Did you really feel your skill go up a lot just in 4 days?
For sure, definitely. Okay. And it's like a couple grand to do it, but it's totally worth it. And they have they have a shop there. You can buy guns. They have a gunsmith on site, so if anything goes wrong, like one of my magazines broke, the spring on it broke, so I went there and bought some new magazines. Everything's there, and they also give you a course, 1 day, or not a whole day, but there's a course on the legality of shooting somebody, and there's also a course on clearing your house, how to clear a room and a doorway.
Oh wow! Okay.
So they pack a lot of it into 4 days, but it's definitely worth it. My skill level definitely went up. Just how you draw your weapon, how you hold it, different way to make it easier.
Is it a school that's always going? Is it like a year-round thing, or it's just a couple times a year? Or is it a special
it's year-round. It's year-round. But if you have the funds and the time, I would definitely recommend it. You'll walk away from that with far more confidence than you started, and with a lot of knowledge on how to shoot your firearm. Because just because you own one, it doesn't come with knowledge.
Right.
When I bought my first, the reason I didn't buy a gun for so long is there's a level of fear there because, I have kids in the house and, it's a gun, it's very serious, but you get one, take that leap, learn, hit the range. And
what was it called?
Front sight.
Front sight. Okay.
Front sight school.
Okay.
And one term that you'll hear all day, every day is focus on the front sight, press. You're not pulling the trigger, you're pressing the trigger. So you focus on the front sight, press the trigger. And then the funnest part was there's a day where they have these little shacks built, and it's like has a couple rooms. So you go in there and you shoot in a room. So you get used to the sound, and you have ear protection on, but it feels like you can feel the concussion from the round. It's not like shooting outside. Everything's inside. And so you go in, you have the instructor right behind you. And they told me you're outside the door. And this is like on the second to last day. So you've had some training. You've learned how to clear a room, clear a door, and all that kind of stuff. And he said, okay, you just pulled up to your house and 6 guys went inside. Go. And so there's targets in there. Some are good, some are bad. Some are bad guys. One guy's a guy holding the phone. The other one's a little girl holding a lollipop. So you got to make sure you shoot the right people. No. So right through a lollipop.
I told you to put that fucking lollipop down.
He told you don't eat in your room. But I shot everybody, all the men. I shot. There was a woman and a child. I let them live, but all the other guys got shot. Even the guy who was just looking at his phone. And he's like, I have to ask, why did you shoot the guy with the phone? I said, because I don't know him. I don't care if you're in my house holding a feather to tickle me with. If you're a man that I don't recognize in my home without my permission, you're getting shot. He was like, okay, respect that. He's like, you don't need a weapon. Once you're in my house,
making a long distance call without asking.
No, you are getting shot. Period. So yeah, I gave it to him. And then you have the very last round you shoot in that course is a target. It's 2 silhouettes, and the whole silhouette in front, and then there's a partial silhouette of somebody sticking their head out behind them. And you have to write the name of somebody you care about on that silhouette, and you have to shoot the person peeking out behind them without shooting the silhouette.
Ooh.
So yeah, take that target home.
Were you able to do it?
Oh yeah, no problem. I shot him right here. And there's a soft area, basically where your glasses sit. That's where you want to shoot somebody, and it's called the brain box. Because anything outside of that, like your skull, can deflect around if you shoot somebody in the forehead. If you get them in here where your eyeglasses sit or your sunglasses, it's a wrap. I shot that fool. Boom, dead center. Because you don't want to take that target home and you put it around through your fucking wife's face. And she's like,
I knew you wanted to kill me.
Hey, not this again.
It's paper. Why you rub my asshole?
I bet you wish it was me. You wish it was me.
Oh, I think of shooting every fucking day. I come home and see the driveway, and I talk myself out of coming here and shooting you in your fucking face.
Yeah, well, I'm not scared because it'd just be another thing you fuck up like everything else.
Where's my vodka? The baby crying. You fucking yell at me. I hate it.
Poor Ivan and Helga. It sounds awful.
Dude, it's just Ivan and his hound dog. That's the only thing that loves him in this world. Is his hound dog Boris.
His hound dog Lennon.
Yeah, it's my dog Stalin. I love him.
He's my dog Sputnik.
Come here, boy. You're the only one who loves me because you can't talk. I bet if you speak, you fucking hate me, dude.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so Rambo takes on a helicopter in a tank, which is
fuck it.
Okay, if you're gonna have muscles like that, I'll allow it. You know.
Yeah. Anything's possible.
Everyone thinks he's dead, but him and that mane of hair, they crawl out, survive. Troutman's like, yes, he's alive.
Dude, what he does, they didn't show it. You have to look really close. You have to pause it on the right scene. But he wraps himself in that mane, and that's what keeps him.
Right.
Keeps him.
Yeah, the mane. Actually, I didn't get it, but you're right, Jericho. When this explosion happens, he pulls the mane of hair over himself inside of the tank, and it protects him.
The shrapnel, like when Superman pulls his cape over,
right.
you know, some damsel in distress, and the flames all around, and she's okay.
Right.
Same thing, same concept.
Right. And then they get in the Jeep. They're talking to the rebels. The rebels like, "Ain't you gonna stay?" And like,
I gotta go home. I left something on the stove.
You know, like
I gotta fucking get out of here.
Yeah, I'm not taking on that bitch, Helga. You could deal with it yourself.
But he took Ivan with him,
right,
to Thailand. He's like, "Hey, good. I heard you lady.
Yeah, you know what a lady boy is?
Because she bitch and complain all the time.
No, you pay if they don't say anything.
So take me, please. I don't care if it has penis."
And there you go. That is Rambo 3, friends.
Out of here.
Troutman and Rambo survive. And then a scant 20 years later, Matthew Marsden would star alongside Sylvester Stallone in Rambo 4.
Oh, boy.
That's right.
Good shit.
Yeah. It's Rambo 4, everyone. It's a good one. I like it. I defend it. People decry it. I think it's good. It's not the best Rambo.
I feel better about it now that, you know, years later. But as a young man, coming off the heels of Part 2, which was one of the greatest.
Part 2 has all that stuff with the girl. You know, with the girl being killed, that just makes Part 2 so heavy. Part 1 has all the real deep trauma of the Vietnam veteran and that final scene where he's like breaking down inside the general store, talking to Sheriff Teasel and all that. So heavy. It's hard to follow up. So I think it's good that Rambo 3 didn't go super heavy serious and did go with like comic book style action. You know what I mean? I think it's to go with a different tone and not try to match those, I guess, was who knows if it was intentional or not, but it worked for me.
I like to think it was intentional because the first one, super deep. Second one, very big budget, kind of candy. Third one, I guess a little more serious, you know, throwing the boy in there and shit. Fourth one and fifth one, violence, anyone?
Ultra violence in the fourth and fifth.
So. Oh my goodness gracious. So yeah, I like to think it was intentional.
Yeah. So okay, so we just had Matthew Marsden on next week. So I don't know if he would come on last week. So I don't know if he'd come on next week, but we'd want to wait to do Rambo 4 for him. So whatever the movie is going to be next week, I'm unsure. It would be nice to do Rambo 4 next week. I'll see if he's available. He's a busy guy. He travels. He does all kinds of things. He has, as of this counting, I think he has 9 children. He could have 10 at any moment.
He has 9. He does have 9.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Once you get to that number, I guess it's easier to get pregnant.
What is another mouth to feed?
What is one more mouth to tell me what kind of shitty father I am?
But yeah, he's a great guy. So we want to have him here for Rambo 4. Get some behind the scenes on Schoolboy, the ultra sniper, and find out.
We could do 5 before 4 if he can't be on because there's no like storyline connection to
it. Right. Okay, so it'll be Rambo 5 or 4 next week. Who knows? Before we leave, a lot of talking. I need some water. Sorry. We learned about Ivan and Helga. Terrible. We learned that I tried to rig the voting and it didn't work, which is really sad because it should have worked, me rigging it.
Yeah.
That was sad. So the Western Bacon Cheeseburger did defeat the Big Mac.
Because it's better.
Geez. I don't know how much more of this I could take, dude. Creamy peanut butter be chunky. Better. I don't know what's even happening here. And what else?
We learned that Mama Hogan's no longer with us.
Oh, God bless. The big Pastamania in the sky.
She's probably making a big pot of gravy right now.
Right. Sunday gravy, Ma. You could do
with
it
the
again.
bingo arms and the moo moo. And if you go like this, if you pinch your fingers like this, you can speak Italian.
That's the truth. That's the truth. Guys, check out Jericho Green on Instagram, JG Talk. Check him out on his regular Jericho Green channel on YouTube. And check out Green's House is his new YouTube channel. Also, make sure you like and share this stream right now. If you're watching right now, hit the like and the share right now, please. That'll help you guys. It'll help me. It'll make things better. Go to Big Man Comics and get Dean Cain's shirt from the book and pick up one of the last remaining copies of Volume 1. And follow me on Twitter, too. I'm Big Man Comics on Twitter. We will talk to you guys next week.